You're listening to the Boxing Coalition.
And he just broke the guy's heart. The guy had nothing left, and he knew he couldn't last another 4 or 5 rounds.
Ricky Wars just smashed his soul.
What it is, let's get it.
Fuck that, this your test, nigga. You hear me?
Let's get it.
Go kick his motherfucker.
Get that motherfucker in.
Let's see you do that. Little step back, bang, bang, bang. Little step back, bang, bang.
Bang, bang, bang. Bang, bang, bang. Try and stop it. Bang, bang. Here I come. Bang. You want to throw sometime? Bang.
Body shot. Boom, 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 boom. Go to the body. Kill that body. You took his nuts, now you gotta take his heart.
Yeah, take his whole soul away.
Yeah, get out of here, Dale. I'll see you later. Fight's gonna move incredible. Get out of here.
He was higher than a motherfucker. I'll tell you, he was stoned as fuck.
No, it's only a majority decision if there was an even score. There's no even score here. You're an official, right? You're an official of the state. Well, then you don't understand how to score.
Oh, my God. Unbelievable. Right here on Fuego.
He's ready to be whooped, man. He's ready to be whooped. He's ready to be whooped.
Howard Foster has stopped it. Wow. That is going to be controversial.
But you really liked to stand toe-to-toe with him in the 12th round, even if you thought you won the fight.
It was on. Did you like that?
I love you.
Hello, and welcome to the Boxing Coalition, a place to discuss anything boxing. We have a rotating panel of hosts that consist of Chemo, Mao Alpha, Cam, Daniel Lim, and MV Chu. If you want to have your say, call in on Skype. Just add Box Coalition and get involved in the show.
Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of the Boxing Coalition. My name is Cam. Joining me tonight, Kevin Hearn, Ari Gold Boss. Hope you guys are well. Kev, I'll start with you. I heard your podcast with Lukey today. You were considering the fight on Saturday night in Canada, Jean Pascal, Sergey Kovalev as Fight of the Year contender so far. Break down why you think that.
I just thought it was exciting. I mean, maybe I got hyped up because I was caught in the moment. Because I was really looking forward to it. And anytime you get to, it's just so rare these days that you get two top guys in the division that are dangerous and action-packed fighters fighting each other. And, you know, you get the top guy ducked both of them, and then they fought each other, and I got hyped, and it was just bombs away. And, you know, Kovalev, fuck, man, when he throws that jab, he's impressive. And, you know, he almost flattened him in the third, and then Pascal came back with a great 4th and 5th round, and he was landing big counter right-hand shots. And I was kind of thinking, like, if he had his legs completely under him when he was landing those shots, would they have more of an effect? You know, because he didn't have his legs fully under him when he was drilling those shots. And I just thought it was a fucking fun fight. It was back and forth at a high level. And I'm like, if Molina Matisse can win Fight of the Year, albeit in a pretty weak year, I thought that this definitely was better than that. It was at a higher level, and it was just fun. It was a fun fight, and everybody that I was talking to liked it. So,
yeah, I definitely liked the fight. Regarding the Fight of the Year thing, I'm on the fence because I'm always on the fence, man. I'm always living on the fence, basically. But
because the one-sided thing, right?
Yeah, that's the only thing. Like with Matisse and Molina, there were some knockdowns. You know, like Lucas was behind, where even though
I still think though, and I hate to cut you off because I think Lim was the only one on my side. Besides the fact when he knocked him down, he was losing every minute of every round, and then he would land a big shot, and like they weren't like big knockdowns, like where he got up hurt and was like. He was worried to be out of the fight. Like the knockdowns, they weren't flash knockdowns; they were legit knockdowns. But he would get up and win.
Kevin, like you and me had this argument months ago. Not argument, but disagreement. And my main thing was obviously those knockdowns happened early in the fight with Lucas and Molina, and then that cut occurred. So I was worried that if the fight might get stopped on the cut, and he's behind on the points where. To me, even though this was a fun fight, and I think Pascal came back in the 5th and the 6th, I think.
Okay.
It wasn't as dramatic for me. I never at any point thought, like, Pascal's going to really hurt Kova or he's going to stop him. But because we've had a, weak start to the year, it's definitely a candidate up there. But I can see better fights down the line.
I hope they are better fights. And I know what you're saying, because even when Pascal was coming back, You never really thought he was going to win. It was kind of like, all right, how long is he going to hang on?
Exactly.
Not how long is he going to get until he wins. And that's why I was like, his legs weren't under him, and he was landing big shots. I was wondering if his legs were under him, if it'd be a different story.
Yeah.
But then again, I don't think Kovalev would have been coming in as sloppy if he didn't know he had him hurt and he wasn't going for the kill, because when he was pumping that jab early on in the first 3 rounds, he wasn't getting caught with none of that shit.
Yeah. And my last point about like the reason why I wasn't concerned about Kova getting stopped or anything is we all kind of know about Pascal's gas tank, so I'm thinking, well, if this goes late, punches to your face and to your body weaken you anyway, and his gas tank's not great, so we all kind of saw a stoppage coming on. It was when it was going to be, and obviously, what did you think of the stoppage? Do you think it was a good stoppage?
Yeah, I think it was a good stoppage. To the gas tank thing, I was surprised. He actually came in a little bit leaner. He's a muscular guy. He's working with Memo and all that, but he looked like he came in a little bit leaner. So I thought maybe he was going to try to address that gas tank by cutting some muscle. And I would have liked to see how it would play it out if he didn't get battered so much, but his legs were completely gone. And if Kovalev didn't slip in the corner right before the stoppage, like that was ready to get stopped once he landed one more good punch. It was like a zip line, basically. Fucking Pascal was leaning on the top rope, zip lining from one corner to the next because he had no feet under him. And then Kovalev fell. Otherwise, that would have got stopped there. And then, all right, so they stop. They bring it to a neutral corner, which is kind of weird because it was just a slip. And Pascal stumbles into the next corner. And it says, okay, go. And Pascal doesn't even move. So you could tell he had no feet, where he basically waited in the corner for Kovalev, who's laughing, like a sinister laugh, walking forward like it's a movie. And he just stands there waiting for him and puts up the double guard and gets caught with 2 clean shots. I'm like, at that point, what's the point? I mean, I see people's argument because he didn't have that big wow whiplash shot or knockdown. I could see the reason why people would want it to go on, but I don't know. I think it's kind of barbaric. I think it was a good stoppage.
Yep. Ari, your thoughts on the fight?
Yeah, well, it was a good fight. I'm not sure on fight of the year, but I can't think of, off the top of my head, a better fight this year. So yeah, it was, Pascal showed great heart. He just showed, like, he was outgunned, but it's just brilliant heart where he's sticking in there and, he's trying to fight on, but his body just failed him. I think it was a perfect stoppage. If the guy's stumbling around the ring when no one's around him, like a drunk, I'm even expecting maybe a towel after the first punch because, the guys in the corner, he ain't moved. So I see no problem with the stoppage. I see a couple of people on YouTube saying it's a bad stoppage. I don't agree. It was a good stoppage. And, Kovalev, he was just beating him up with the jab and the right hand. It's just, there's not much you could say. This guy ain't a typical brawler. He's like Triple G, man. They're not typical brawlers. They're boxers with power. And their power, look what they've done to Pascal. I've never even seen Pascal really hurt before. This guy's, the rope saved him like 3-4 times in the fight. So I think there was only one legit knockdown the whole fight, or 2, I can't remember fully. But, there could have been 4 or 5 if it weren't for the ropes. But, Pascal, respect to Pascal, that's what I came out of it mainly with, because, he's taking crazy punches and he's just sticking in there, man.
Definitely. I gained a lot of respect for Pascal in this fight, because before the fight, a few people asked me, I was talking to my boy King J in the evening before the fight, and we were talking about how we thought the fight would play out, and I thought honestly that Pascal would feel Kova's power quite early and then kind of just do a b-hop and just try and survive and win on lose on points rather than getting knocked out. But the heart he's shown in like the 5th and the 6th, I gained so much respect, because he could have easily just like got on his bike and just jab and move and just made it a really ugly, boring fight just to survive. But he actually tried, and he tried to hurt Kova and he tried to knock him out. So utmost respect to Pascal. But regarding the whole conversation of the rematch, what do you guys think personally? Because Kova's kind of finished everyone that's worth like notable name on the resume or a notable guy, I wouldn't mind a rematch. But having said that, like, is Beterbiev ready? Obviously we want the Stevenson fight. I can't see it happening. I can see him ducking that. But what do you guys think, Kev?
No, he's got a mandatory next, I think, against Mohammadi, and then hopefully after that is Stevenson. I don't see no point for a rematch. Pascal didn't do enough to me to think he could have turned it around. I really don't see, unless they're trying to say it's a dodgy stoppage. But like I said before, I think it was a good stoppage. So I don't want to see a rematch. I'd rather see get his mandatory out of the way and then force the Stevenson fight.
Yeah, I don't see a second fight ending up any different. And I like watching fun fights, and I kind of would watch it, but I don't think there's any reason for it. I would watch it just because they earned a second view for me in that sense, but better be really fucked up. We're kind of favorites of his on this show, and we kind of been pushing him. Not that saying that he's great, because he is kind of sloppy and all that, but he had a chance to be on this undercard, backed out for whatever reason. I guess he said because he's too close to the guy from sparring. But if he would have been on this fight and say knock this dude out in 3 rounds like he's been knocking everybody out, and then there'd be a little bit of a call for a Kovalev Beterbiev fight. Even though I don't think he's ready, but at least it would have been a little bit of excitement. And right now it's like if Stevenson's going to keep ducking, what's really next for him? So. If he takes the mandatory, I can understand that main events likes their guys to keep their belts and fight the mandatories because, they don't really have much bargaining power outside of the belts,
Definitely. Really enjoyable fight for me. Don't know if you guys got anything else you want to topic on this, because obviously we haven't really got many people on the line. You guys got any final thoughts about this? We'll probably come back to it later on when other people jump on, but the undercard was a bit disappointing for me, definitely. There's the whole Steve Cunningham getting robbed. Definitely think he got robbed. After hearing Kev a few months ago about scoring fights, I don't really score them as much now. I kind of just sit back and enjoy. And I didn't score the Cunningham fight, but I clearly thought that he won the fight, even though he did slow in the later rounds. He started off really fast with the jab and his movement was good, but definitely slowed. He's obviously a lot older now, quite shot one, so I just didn't think Glasgow did enough, a lot of his shots weren't clean. Cunningham's got high guard sometimes, and he blocks a lot of the shots. So definitely a bit of a robbery. What do you think? What do you guys think?
Yeah, I thought Cunningham won. Again, I might be biased because I like the guy. I'm a Navy veteran myself, so I like rooting for him. So when you kind of have that bias, you kind of look at a fight that way. You tend to score it a certain way. And like I said, I don't score fights necessarily unless I have money on them or I really am interested in talking about it like that. But I thought Cunningham controlled the action, definitely won most of the early rounds, and I was really surprised that 2 judges gave it 116-112 Glasgow. I mean, I could have seen a draw, especially because Glasgow got that momentum. So I was like, if they gave him one of those early rounds, I could see a draw happening. But I don't know. I think maybe Cunningham lost for the fact that he didn't do what Cunningham usually does, which is get hit and create a firefight and an exciting fight, and ended up being a dull, boring fight, and he was kind of the one on the back foot and circling. So I think that sometimes judges, just kind of score the action that way.
Yep. Ari?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really fully concentrate on the fight, it was quite poor, but from what I saw, I thought Cunningham had it. If not that, a draw or even closer. It should have definitely been a split if you're going to give it to the guy. But I don't know what's this Kraskov guy got that he keeps getting these decisions, man, because I'm sure I've seen him lose a fight before and he got the decision. What fight was it? Against Malik Scott?
His last fight, he looked like shit and should have lost.
Against a bum, innit? Against Rossi.
Yeah.
I missed it, but I heard he should have lost that. Something's going on. I don't know who's he with? Is he with Duva?
I think basically the whole card was Duva except maybe him, but maybe he was,
Well, Duva seemed like she was rooting for Cunningham, but yeah, man. I don't want to. I hear this was an IBF final eliminate. I don't want to see this guy versus Vladimir. What's he gonna do? He's got no power and he's small. He looks like he should be a cruiserweight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he's fighting it with Vladimir.
Well, he's mandatory now, but Vlad better not try some bullshit and duck Fury with this. You know what I'm saying? He didn't impress me at all. You're getting beat up by Cunningham.
And they're both small heavyweights.
Yeah, they're very small. Both of them only here.
Neither one of these guys could go in with a 250-pound Klitschko.
No,
they're up a heavyweight because obviously that's where the money's at. Mm-hmm. But Glasgow, he's just food for Vladimir, man. If you're gonna fight Vlad, make sure Fury gets his fight first, or if you're gonna fight the winner of that fight, I'm a Fury guy. But no, for Gaskov, he didn't impress me at all. So
it was an overall boring card, and it was kind of a low-level card. When you look at the talent on the fights, you thought HBO might come out a little harder because HBO does have great events. But as much as I shit on Heyman cards, I got to shit on HBO as well. And you took HBO's money, and it was basically a main event card, and the main events roster isn't that deep. They should have brought somebody else in, but who knows? Maybe the card would have looked different if Beterbiev fought Chilemba like he was supposed to. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
the card just kind of left us hanging.
Yeah, Cam.
What's up?
Forget this fight. Let's talk about the mistake. Is that guy who fought Chilemba with Duva?
Who? Liepkin, what his name is?
Lipkin, yeah.
We're not gonna see. Yeah, well, let's talk about the mistake. Whoever made that fight for that boy. Because come on, man, you should know this. Like,
you should know he didn't have the heart. Ready?
No, you just should know. You're never gonna look good against Chilemba. He's just one of them guys you cannot fight. Look at Bellew. He was lucky to get the decision in the first fight. All right, he done his work in the second, but even the second fight, Chilemba's not. You can't knock him out. He's one of the hardest guys to hit clean. The fight's going to be guaranteed boring. It's just, just avoid the guy, man. He's a pure definition of a gatekeeper. You beat Chilemba, you go on to fight for a title. That's what Chilemba is. He's a world level gatekeeper. You have to avoid him, and that kid, he's done. Chilemba took his soul.
Chilemba could win fights. He's not a gatekeeper like Rosado.
I'd say he's a gatekeeper because he's never going to win a belt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He's good enough to be a contender, but he's not good enough to be a champ, huh?
Yeah, and no one backs him because, he's from... Where is he from? South Africa? No, he's not even South African. He's from...
Yeah, he had a fucked up haircut. I know that much. Came out there with a racing stripe on his head. He was a NASCAR shit.
Trust Kev to talk about
Malawi.
haircuts.
He's from Malawi. Yeah, the guy's got the smallest head you'll see.
Yeah, when you look like you're 60 years old, man, it's not cool to throw a fucking blonde mohawk on your head with the arrow pointed on it like you're a superhero or some shit.
Hey, that Russian guy got taken to school, man.
Yeah, he's a big dude too, because Chilemba's a big dude. I seen Chilemba at an event one time. He's like a legit 6'2", 6'3". And the Lipkin or whatever the fuck his name was, he was a lot bigger than Chilemba. I was like, wow, that's a big dude. But you could tell, like, he just wasn't ready for him. It was evident right away. And they're two big guys. And then you take them, and then you look at the main event, like Kovalev, is that size, and Pascal, who they list at 5'11", is nowhere near that.
Yeah, I don't know what's next for Chilemba. I don't think that fight was mandatory for any kind of belt, I guess. So. But he must be close to another final eliminator. His last one, final eliminator, he lost to Bellew. I don't know what belt he'll go for. There's only 2 champs. But I wouldn't mind seeing him in there with Stevenson, maybe. If Stevenson ain't got a fight, who's Stevenson fight next? Is he? Oh yeah. Oh,
Biko.
Jesus Christ.
Biko.
Yeah, he's fighting a super middleweight off a loss.
Who's been shit for the last couple of years now. Coming like Biko's on the decline. But just going back to the Chilemba fight, Kev, was there a 3-fight show on HBO? Was that the first on the card?
Yeah, it was 3 fights. And I think the only reason why it was 3 fights was because they thought Beterbiev was going to be on up until 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was the same in the UK. Sky Sports had the rights to air this fight, and it was such a horrible fight to start the card. And then obviously the Cunningham fight, even though it was slightly better, it wasn't again a great fight. And Pascal Kovalev saved the card really because... Kev, like, you're lucky, man, because for you, it's like, these fights are like 10, 11 o'clock. When it's like 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, and you're watching fucking Cunningham and Glasgow, it's hard to fucking stay awake, Kev.
I could imagine. I was actually out at a dinner the night before, and I missed the heavyweights, and I was pissed because everybody on Twitter was saying it was good. And then the night that I'm not going out to dinner and I was home all night, I almost got put to sleep by the undercard, and I'm like, fuck, can't catch a break.
Exactly.
I was juggling. I'm not going to say what else I was watching, but I was juggling. That's the only way I was staying up.
Because the other sport that you want to mention is banned from this show, so we can't talk about that. But let's go to, I guess, Friday. Andre Berto, Josesito Lopez. Kev, start with you. What did you think of the fight, and more importantly, the stoppage, I guess?
I don't got problems with stoppages, and I said this to Lukey, a couple other people. I'm like, maybe it's because I'm getting older, or maybe because I'm spending more time in gyms and like talking to pros, and like I guess you kind of like start looking at them as people instead of just fighters and shit. And like you're a little more like okay with stoppages that maybe in the past I'd have been questionable about. But on the other hand, I'm like, if you have a problem with stoppages, stop getting dropped. And Lopez basically went down pretty easy on that second shot, so there was no reason to think that he could withstand another. And you know what I mean? So I'm not really mad about the stoppage. I think the card was all right, and I think they made some improvements from the PBC broadcast, and this is definitely a small level show, so I think it was pretty cool all in all. And the fight was weird. Did you watch the fight? Did you see how fucking Josesito was ragdolling Berto around the ring like he was a kid?
Berto looked tiny compared to Josesito.
Well, Berto is tiny. What is he, like 5'7", but 5'6"? I don't know what he is, but when they locked up, it was like he was getting thrown around, bro. It was like men amongst boys. I was like, wow, is this guy really that done? Like, his balance is that done? I don't know.
Berto should cut some muscle mass and just go to 140, man, because he's just, like you said, he's
both of these guys, and like Lopez is not a 147-pounder. He's soft at 147.
Yeah, he looked fleshy, but I have to disagree about the stoppage, Kev. The reason being is Josesito, even though it wasn't eye-pleasing to watch, he was winning the fight up until that point. He was frustrating Berto. Like you said, he was throwing him around, he was catching him clean. And I just think that, he deserved a bit of a chance because he's ahead in the fight. If he was getting beat up and he's losing, and then he gets dropped twice in one round, fair enough. But I think he deserved a bit of a break. And because the second knockdown didn't look too...
It wasn't. And I think that's why I agree with the stoppage, because the first one was a fucking clean shot. It rocked him. And the second one, he went down basically on nothing. So I'm like, maybe he is done, but you had him up, huh? I think I'm one of the few people that had Berto actually up. I had Berto up 3-1-1.
Yeah, I was like, I saw your scorecard on Twitter, man, and I was gonna like look for some opticians around around your way, man, Long Island opticians.
I'm looking at computer screens all day.
Yeah, man, your eyes are fucked up, Kev.
Yeah. And but then again, I also had money on Berto, so that's probably why I scored it that way.
Yeah, that does happen when you have money on someone, you see shit that you might not see in other fights.
Yeah, but I really thought he was pumping a good jab and landing it. I mean, the first round I thought Josesito clearly won, and then I think like Berto I thought clearly won the third and I think the fifth. So it was like really the second and the fourth that were kind of like up for grabs in my mind. And I was like, even though he was getting backed up, he was throwing a good jab, and most of Josesito's work kind of seemed like when he was pushing him around, and it wasn't necessarily as clean. But I don't really have a problem with anybody scoring it for Lopez. I disagree.
I disagree. But Ari, which side of the fence are you on? My side or Kevin's side?
Yeah, I'm on your side. Definitely.
Everybody is. Yo, honestly, everybody else can't be wrong. So I think I got to be wrong on this.
I don't know what Kev was talking about. Lopez was giving him a lesson before.
Okay, everybody else can't be wrong. I got to be wrong.
Yo, I honestly thought that Josesito Lopez was up in the cards, man.
Yeah, that's what. Even if Joe's saying as well, come on, Kev.
Yo, man, and you know how much I hate Lopez, man. So.
My boy Black Ski Mask Joe on the line. Let me play your intro, Joe.
All black ski mask, glove, tuck the thing. Ski mask swing.
I still got the black ski mask to throw on.
What's going on, Joe?
Shit, man, just chilling, brother.
You know you're on thin ice, don't you? So you have to kind of like.
Yeah, man, I'm like Broner on NBC. I gotta watch what I say.
Yeah, man. There was a lot of uproar. There was uproar at the chemo special, but yo, everyone makes mistakes. You're back. We were talking.
Yo, man, what can you say, man? When you got a bottle of Hennessy and you got your nice cold Coca-Cola to chase that shit down, man.
Yeah, but Joe, it was like 12 p.m., man. Why are you fucking drunk at 12 p.m.?
Huh?
Wasn't it like 12 p.m. on the West Coast when we did the chemo
Hey,
special?
man, what can I say? I'm a degenerate, man.
Let's get back to the boxing, Joe. Berto, Josesito. So you agree with me and Harry? Stoppage was a bit bad, but
Well, I wouldn't say that the stoppage was that bad because, I mean, even though I had Josesito up by the rounds, I think I only gave Berto the second round. I would have gave him what was the stoppage? The 6th round, right?
Yeah, I think it was the 6th.
Yeah, the 5th round, I would have gave it to Berto, but he wasn't too active in the round. Like, he was landing punches, but I felt like Josesito was being more aggressive towards him. But it is what it is. It happened what happened. The only fight that I was kind of like pissed off was Areola. That guy's a fucking piece of work, man.
Areola was shocking to me because, again, like Kevin, Lukey were talking about it on their show, I think. Or it might have been someone on The Voice, a caller on The Voice, but they were saying, look, against Hearn in the second fight, even though he was saying he was in the best shape of his life, he was, but he wasn't in like Vladimir Klitschko shape, but he was in decent shape for him. But if you're going to get yourself to that position, try and maintain it. Don't just think, fuck it now, I'll just get fat again, because you're just going backwards, and that's what it was. He just went backwards against this guy, and I thought, after that first round, I thought this is just easy work. And I don't know. The guy survived the round, and
I was disappointed in just okay. So because in the Stavern fight he came in at 238, I think, and in this fight he came in at like close to 280, dude. And
that's just plain fat. That's not any muscle.
Yeah, that's a fucking that's almost a 50-60 pound jump in 8 months, bro.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't watch a fight where two guys just don't look like athletes. They just look like fat shits. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't care like how genetically you are. Like, if you really train for a training camp and you're a professional athlete, you're not going to look like that. Just going to the gym twice a week and being in the gym for 2 hours a day twice a day for fucking 6 weeks, you can't look like that. It's impossible.
And then the other thing that kind of pisses me off about him is the fact that, okay, in the second Stavern fight, he was like, okay, man, I'm in the best shape of my fucking life, yada, yada, yada. And then now in this fight, he's like, yeah, I'm taking things a little bit for granted. It was my fucking birthday. I ate pizza on the weekend. Like, come on, man, get the fuck out of here, man. Are you fucking serious, dude? Obviously. And then now he wants to I know I shouldn't be making excuses. Like, come on, man. You already are making excuses. Get out of here, kid.
Obviously, the hand injury made a difference, but he should have got, what's his name, Curtis Harper. He should have got him out of there by then.
I don't know.
Curtis Harper. Yeah.
Sean Porter, man, you know what? Even though this guy, that Ecuadorian guy, came in last minute, dude, he was giving him some work with the counter punching, man.
Yeah. What's his name? Eric Bonet.
I don't know. Yeah, man. I thought his counter-punching ability was pretty good. Imagine if that guy would have came in a good camp. I think he probably would have gave Porter some problems. Imagine if that guy would have came in a good camp.
Dan, we got feedback of you. That means Dan's got Apple computer. That's what that noise means.
I know, right? When you hear the squirts in the background.
What's happening, Dan? You there? I think Dan's doing something else now. Shit, I think he just loaded up some porn or something.
They called me a young Mozart back in the day. That's why I'm so good on the keyboards, man.
What's happening, Daniel?
Oh, what's up, man? I saw 1 out of the 3 fights, so you can ask me about any fight, and I'll give you that personal touch.
The MVG special. Make it up.
Exactly.
Which fight did you see?
And come on, man, the Kovalev Pascal.
Okay, what do you think?
Regards to the Berto Lopez card, the moment I saw that it was on Spike TV, I was like, come on, man, I can't do this. I'm not going to watch Spike TV.
You couldn't lower yourself to that channel.
The only time I ever watch Spike TV is when I want to watch all 6 Star Wars movies in a row. So, but yeah, regards to the Kovalev Pascal fight, I thought the stoppage was one of those situations where if you go strictly by what you saw, then probably Pascal should have been given a little bit more time to recuperate, but at the same time, he was just getting kind of beaten down, I thought, for those 2 rounds from the 7th to the 8th round. So I thought it was justified. I thought Kovalev, I mean, he's great at what he does, but there's also obviously some limitations to his game. He gets caught a lot with those hands, and I feel like Stevenson is just as fast as Pascal and a little bit sharper. So, again, that's a fight that I really, really want to watch.
Yo, before we jump on another subject, is it true that Kovalev kind of tweeted out before the fight, I guess in reference to Pascal, if he dies, he dies?
I don't know.
What kind of shit is that?
Yeah, Kovalev's fucked up, man. He says something after the fight as well, like, I didn't want the fight to end. I wanted to put him in a deep sleep or something.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
This is a guy who's killed someone before as well, you know.
Right.
He's fucked up, man.
Do you know what?
Honestly, oh my, go ahead, Kim. My bad.
That's okay. I was thinking, do you think that's marketing from the team, or do you think that's just his real personality?
No, I think that's him.
Yeah, that's a latter. I don't see why a marketing team would advise him to do those kind of things. You know, and I know it's not a comparable situation, but you know, when Perez fought Magomed, he obviously put Magomed in a deep induced coma, and obviously that had drawbacks and consequences that lasted for 2 fights now. And you would think by the virtue of killing someone, that would have an impact on at least how you fight, but that's clearly not the case. Kovalev is probably one of the most aggressive fighters, and just like Ari said, if you wanted to fight this guy for more rounds to put him in a deep sleep, then I think there is kind of like a sociological thing about him that makes him kind of crazed when he fights.
Man, those Russians are tough, man.
Yeah, but you know what though? It's funny because I actually had a discussion with the guy who goes to my gym about Kovalev's personality, and he was comparing him to Golovkin, but Golovkin is not like this at all, right? When he clearly has some kind of moral ground. Like even in the Murray fight, you know, you could have probably gotten him out of there a lot sooner and could have brutalized him more, but he obviously has some kind of moral high guard that Kovalev doesn't have.
Damn. Imagine Golovkin. If he dies, he dies.
Oh, we need Chemo to do that impression.
You remember when Kovalev fought Cleverly? Didn't he do the hip thrust?
Yeah, he did.
The dry hump.
Yeah,
he's just a dick, man, and that's why I love him, though, honestly. Yeah.
What's next for Kovalev, though, Dan?
It has to be Stevenson, right? I mean, Pascal was. I've never been a big Pascal fan, but he was probably the last fighter at 175 that I would have been okay with Kovalev fighting. So now it has to be him. I don't think he's going to fight Beterbiev, just because I think Beterbiev is a little bit too young in the game. Already.
Sorry. Supposedly, from what I heard from the post press conference, was that he was I guess he's supposed to defend the mandatory for the IBF, I think, right?
Yeah, I mentioned earlier, he has to fight Mohammadi next.
I don't even know who Mohammadi is.
Yeah, they didn't even air that fight.
I'm the same, man. Like, I always see his name listed in fights, but I don't even know what the fuck he looks like.
Najib Mohammadi, that's what Nothing for Something said. I have no idea who that is. Jesus Christ.
That's the thing, like, Kova's kind of run through the 175
I've got him
division.
here. He's on quite a big run of, wins. But he lost to Cleverly like 5 years ago.
Oh, get the fuck out. No, come on. If you lose to Cleverly, no, you can't fight
Kovalev. And he got knocked out by that guy that...
got
knocked out. His last loss, he got knocked out by that guy that Stevenson fought in December.
Oh, then no way, man. Get out of here, bro. Come on. That's bullshit.
That's going to be like Ishmael Salak all over again, just like 2 punches to the head and finished.
And he's French, they don't make boxers.
He's Kovalev is going to do something really racist in that fight too, just judging by his name. So.
Shit.
Like Nothing for Something in the chat said, "quote unquote French." So.
Yep.
But oh man, shout out to Je suis the Crusher in the chat. It's good to know that we have.
But
Exactly.
You guys see Kovalev maybe at the start of next year going up to cruiserweight? Because people kind of murmuring about his weight and he's getting a bit big for light heavyweight. And he's kind of cleaned it up, so I could see him stepping up next year to cruiserweight.
No, I could see him just holding it down while he has all the belts, but then he'll probably move up.
Isn't Cruiser at 193?
I thought it was under 200.
Yeah, Cruiser is 176 basically to 200, 199.
That's what I'm saying, man. I feel like that discrepancy is too large.
It is a big difference.
You know, that's the thing I don't understand. Like, that just shows first of all, I don't know that much about the boxing weight limits, but that's why the cruiserweight division in and of itself is such a strange division, because if you're allowed to be given that big of a gap between weights, that just doesn't make much sense. You know, there's too much room for error, I feel like.
No, I totally agree. It's like Cleverly going up, even though he wasn't he's a natural cruiserweight. He looked tiny, and Belly is just a fat dude, and just just ate himself up to the weight. And it's an awkward position because it's such a wide gap in weight, and it's in a position where it's bordering on two heavy-handed weight classes. You've got the heavyweights on one side, and obviously you got the light heavyweights on the other side, and it's a no man's land division almost, and it's a division that people don't really follow either. Like a lot of the cruiserweights are from like Europe and Eastern Europe. No one really kind of cares about the cruiserweight division in the States, I guess.
And you know what's funny? Also, we're always clamoring for these guys to move up a weight division, and again, I'm not going to bring up Andre Ward just for the sake of bringing him up, but it's like Ward, Golovkin, now Kovalev. We want all of these guys to move up in the weight divisions because they've respectively cleaned out their own divisions. But if we keep asking them to do such things, they're never going to face one another. So I just think it's funny that we're always, asking these guys to move up.
No, I'm not asking him to move. If he wants to just sit there and clean the division, fair enough. But like Harvey29 in the chat saying, does anyone want to see Ward or Kovalev? And it's that same situation. Okay, Kovalev stays in his division, but then Ward moves up. But then we miss Golovkin and Ward because, they've missed each other. So
it's like a puzzle.
Yep. It's difficult.
So it's a chess game. But, and again, back to what you said about the cruiserweights, Cam. I feel like Kovalev is just starting to make a name for himself here in the States and on HBO. And if you move up to cruiserweight, who is he gonna fight that HBO would want to put on the airwaves?
Excellent point. Can't really argue that.
Mm-mm. Yeah, but going back to the Kovalev fight though, the more I watch Kovalev fight, the more I'm impressed, but also the more I kind of see Stevenson having success against him, just because I feel like everything Stevenson does well is kind of Kovalev's weaknesses.
Yeah, I kind of saw some little weak spots in this fight. He was kind of more vulnerable to some counter punching. That's for damn sure.
He's always been vulnerable to counter punching, but it's just Stevenson's speed, right? I mean, the thing about Pascal is he may be athletic, but I'm not quite sure if he's as capable of just a puncher as Stevenson is.
The only issue for me is though Stevenson's chin, because obviously Pascal's got a good chin, and he was looking out on his feet multiple times in that fight. And I think if Kovalev catches Stevenson with a few big shots, I think it's going to be 9-9, to be honest.
But does Pascal have a good chin? I'm just asking. Has he shown that against the fighters?
He's got a great chin. That's the first time he's ever been dropped, I think.
Okay, that's fair, but who has he fought, though, before that?
Froch.
Okay, that's a good point, Froch. But at 168.
Yeah, hold on, let me get his record up, because I'm drawing a blank myself. Well, Bute, but, Bute's shot.
That's
Hopkins
fair.
twice, Dawson. That's it, really.
That's fair. And, like the one mentioned in the chat, the one says Kova might be hiding glass. I feel like Kova is hiding glass.
You think Kova's hiding glass?
Yeah, I mean, in that amateur fight, didn't he get knocked out or dropped? Pretty bad. He got knocked out, right? In that amateur fight?
What weight was that, though?
It was, I forget.
I think it was like middleweight or something near there, and obviously he might have been drained. But for me, I think the opposite. Kovalev looks comfortable with his chin to me, because that's why it seems like he takes so many risks, because he knows that he can take a punch. obviously his balance is an issue because sometimes when he's swinging away, he's off balance a lot. But never during the fight, like I said to Kev before, was I worried about Pascal knocking him out or putting him to the floor. And I think if he did get put down, it'd be more of a balance issue again. He's got caught when he's off balance and he's gone down.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Calling him Glastrian is too harsh. So I apologize for that. But maybe it's just because I believe in Stevenson's left hand so much. I feel like if Stevenson lands that straight left against anyone, he's probably going to put that person at least down. So.
Yeah, I need to go through Kova's box rec and see when the last time he thought of southpaw. I think was Capolero or what's his other name?
Yeah.
Cedric Agnew. I think he was a southpaw, but they didn't really cause an issue to Kova. So, but obviously they're not Stevenson, are they? So, percentage wise, then, how would you have that fight? Kova Stevenson.
It's such a great fight, man. It's one of those 50-50 matchups that that's not only a good fight, but honestly, the two fighters are just polar opposites of one another. You know, one guy does his strong suits are the exact opposite of the other fighter. So, is Vic from the Boxing Voice at someone's house?
I know those dogs disagree with whatever you just said, bro.
Vic himself isn't, but I'm currently babysitting Vic's dogs at the moment. So here, I'll go ahead and pull a Michael Vick. So I'll be right back.
Mike Vick. Shit. Damn. All right, let's have a little.
That's what you say on the airways, bro.
Hey, come on, man. You know how us Korean types do. We have a soft spot for these dogs that other people aren't familiar with. Just ask.
El perro does not agree with your takes.
Just ask Manny's dad. He knows what's.
Anna McCrotty.
All right, let's have a little intermission. Talk about the Predictions League. Poor week for the Prediction League. I think I had to avoid 3 fights for different reasons. Obviously, Porter was a opponent change. Garcia pulled out, and then Bonet stepped in, so I had to avoid that one. I think the Chilemba Liepkin fight was supposed to be a 12-rounder and ended up being a 10, so I had to pull that. And what was the other fight? Was there another fight I had to do? Ari, can you remember off the top of your head that
I think it was just them two, isn't it?
Oh, okay, just 2. But for me, I had a terrible week. I was supposed to pick Francisco Vargas by 8th round knockout, and somehow I picked Tomlinson, so I lost 60 points there, so that was pretty bad. And I'm not doing good this year. Our boy Chemo, representing the coalition, broke into the top 10, up 12 positions, gone into 5th. So shout to Chemo, 140 points this week. But let me quickly go through the top 10. So Segura made a comeback. He dropped last week, but he's back in number 1 spot. Alan Hurst is back on Segura's undercard. So Segura in 1st, Chappie Hover in 2nd, Alan Hurst 3rd, Hamada, my boy, in 4th, Chemo 5th, Snash 84 6th, Inverness Mark and Lukey joint 7th, James Bennett 8th, G-Man 9th, and Stara Paragon, who supported us from the beginning, is in 10th. And the people that made a lot of points this week, Stara Paragon had the most. He made 170 points this week. Hamada Boxing, nice. 150 points. Chemo, 140 points. Segura made 130. So, yeah, nice to see. Next week's a bit quiet. We only got 2 fights in the Prediction League. It's a bit of a quiet weekend in boxing next week.
Yo, man, Segura came back on top. Minor setback for a major comeback.
Definitely, man. Segura's total points output now is 710 points. He's got a gap of, I think it's 38 points over Chappie Hover, so he's definitely pulling the lead, man. Respect to Segura. Hope he phones in later. And that's about it for the.
What's the prize for the winner for the end of the year?
One of your dogs.
one of Joe's ski masks. Joe, you have to sign a ski mask and send it to Segura if he wins.
How about a special handwritten joke on behalf of Ski Mask?
or a specialized Chemo impression, voice, a soundbite. Chemo can do audiobook style. Yeah, man. Chemo can impression anyone. But
or the Crusher in the chat says a signed smoke alarm from Ari.
Yo, I ain't gonna joke, like when I met Ari in November, he was just about to kind of win the prediction league, so I was considering buying him a smoke alarm and taking it, but I didn't want to think I was taking the piss, so I didn't buy one, but definitely wanted to give you a smoke alarm, Ari. But let's get on to some discussion about Ari's favourite promoter.
Wait. You don't want to talk Porter?
Oh, sorry, yeah, Sean Porter. I don't know. I saw this fight. I need to give Box Nation a bit of a critique here, because for some reason they tried to style it out that it was an issue on the American side, but from what everyone was kind of getting the information about is they fucked up with the timings and didn't know, like me last week, that the States and basically the East Coast, West Coast was 1 hour difference from the UK more, so it was 4 hours from the East Coast. So their show started about 2 o'clock, but they totally missed the Porter fight and they missed the first round of the Arreola fight. So, which is kind of bad, because Box Nation is a subscription channel. I do pay a subscription, so to make a mistake like that is pretty poor. For the fight, I watched it. I tried to watch it today, but I've been busy. They ended up...
Wait, 1 sec. Sorry, Cam. So what? Box Nation forgot about the clocks going back?
Yeah.
Or clocks going forward in America?
Yeah.
That's kind of retarded, bro.
They're noobs, man.
Yeah, that
See, I didn't even know that. I didn't watch the fights live. I call in the morning, but
yeah. So basically, when they went live, they just tuned into the Arreola fight, and then after the main event, after Lopez and Berto, they started to play the Sean Porter fight. But by that time, I actually fell asleep on the sofa. I woke up at about 7 o'clock. I thought, what the fuck?
Was Ringside Robbie in head of the programming?
Oh shit!
Where's the crickets? Oh, no, but for the fight, for me, I know it was a late replacement, and it's good for Porter to get in the back of the ring. I personally think he should have got in the ring a bit sooner, because obviously Brooks' stabbing incident with the machete, that's what put his comeback to end of the match, a couple of weeks. But for Porter, I think he should have been in the ring maybe November, December. What's up?
I love just how I loved how you said the fact that what's his face, Kell Brook got stabbed with the machete so calmly, like it's just expected.
Like that shit was routine.
Yeah, exactly. that happens on a regular basis up in the northwest of England. So yeah.
Can you imagine if on CNN they said some shit like that?
Hey, it's normal over here, man. We don't have a easy supply of ready-made guns around the corner in the shop for us.
Yeah, we can't just go to ammunition.
Because you and your soft little beanies or whatever those cops are called running around with nightsticks and no guns.
Beanies? Where do you get beanies from?
The bobbies.
The bobbies.
You've been listening to Star too much.
Got the bobbies out there with nothing but fucking nightsticks. I was on a conference call one time, like maybe 2 years ago, when there was rioting outside the London offices.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so don't get me started.
What was that experience like, Kev?
What, when there was rioting?
Yeah.
Crickets.
I was waiting for an answer then, but Kevin didn't respond.
Oh no, because I was just on the other end of the phone. I was in New York. It was a conference call with the video chat, and all you hear is people chanting outside and throwing shit at windows.
But regarding Porter, he looked okay, It's just a style that it's a bit of an ugly style to watch, that kind of leaping in with hooks. It's effective because he's so muscular and he's quite powerful, but it's not really eye-pleasing for me. What do you guys think?
I agree.
It wasn't pleasing for Paulie Malignaggi either.
True. Well, what do you think of the fight, Kev?
I don't know. I think he is what he is, but I think he could be effective doing what he does, but I don't think he's very versatile at all. I was always high. I remember when we first started this podcast, or I first started calling in, like I said, I would take Porter over Thurman. I guess that's looking pretty bad right now, but I still think that style that he has would give someone like Thurman trouble because he's not used to having somebody up in their chest. But he's one of those guys that, like, you see also in the gym, like when the coach tells you, like, yo, where's your head movement? And then they'll move their head like nonstop for 15 straight seconds and then stop. And then stop the rest of the round. Like, it'll just be completely forgotten. And, like, I think that's kind of like how Porter is. Like, he'll respond well if you tell him something, but he doesn't keep it up. Like, he'll just do it for that minute, and that's it.
That's like my boy A.V. Hearn, man.
Yo, man, but to be honest with you, dude, Sean Porter, man, his style of boxing is just too fucking wild. These fucking swings, those hooks, man, he just throws all his punches in, like, so wild and so open, man. I have a feeling like if he does fight a Thurman, he'll get fucking caught. Or even versus an Amir Khan, I feel like he'll get caught.
Yeah, I think anybody with fast hands and short punches is gonna, especially if they're taller and they got the reach, is gonna be a foil for him. But I don't think he's a bum. I just don't think he's that appealing, like, visually, and I don't think he's as good as I thought he was gonna be. He's
just dumb, man. He may not be a bum, but he's fucking dumb. The way that he smothers his own punches, like against when he fought Kell Brook, he couldn't shorten up his shots at all.
He did the same thing here, Lim. You see when he jabbed, like he would finish a jab and be like armpit underneath your shoulder. He couldn't do anything afterwards. It's like, what's the point of jabbing in if you're not gonna at the end of the jab so you can land another punch?
Hey, Kev, even though I didn't watch this fight, I totally agree. I mean, I couldn't believe he was doing all that stuff in the fight. Stylistically speaking, you can't do that. What Porter did against that Ecuadorian fighter is unacceptable, you know.
Yeah, man. I was, even though, I was kind of rooting for the Ecuadorian guy just for being on TV, man, because, they don't really got a lot of people down there, man, to be on TV. I was like, fuck, Sean. What the fuck's going on, man? Why the fuck are you struggling with this guy?
Yo, Kev, the reason why I was laughing so much is I've seen Porter train at the Wallet Card, and it's so true. His dad tells him, yo, Sean, you need to do this more. He'll be like, all right, Pops. And then he'll do it, like, perfectly for a minute straight, and he just completely abandons it after that.
Yeah, but you see people like that, especially amateurs in the gym all the time. Like, you see them sparring, like, nothing that comes natural to them. Like, the coach will tell them to do something, and they just do it ridiculously for like 15 straight seconds, and then as soon as like they get hit or something happens, they just stop.
Yeah,
it goes out the books.
The thing that makes it so frustrating for Porter is the fact that he has so much athletic talent, but he just doesn't know how to utilize it properly.
And I think so too, because he's strong as shit. And you see when he gets inside, he's mad quick. But it's like, dude, if you could just stop that a half a foot short, instead of going in all the way, you'll be in range to land punches, and he just doesn't do it. And I don't know, I still think he beats like the lower echelon, like top 10 type guys, fringe contenders, but I don't think he ever beats the top guys. And I think he's very tough, so he's not going to get smoked or nothing like that. But I really thought like he was going to be like a bully in that division for a while, and I don't see that happening anymore. I think Cam's style is straight jabs and 10-ounce gloves is nightmarish for him. In the Cam sparring videos.
Ari, what did you think of Porter?
Yeah, I kind of skipped through the fight, but yeah, it was just typical Porter in my opinion. After the fight, he was acting as if they'd made changes. I didn't see no changes really. He attacked the body well, but other than that, he was getting caught. The guy was countering at times.
Joe.
Jesus Christ, Joe, man.
Joe, feedback of your mic, Joe.
What was that, like a bag of Doritos or some shit? You putting in work over there, Joe?
He's on the Chris Arreola diet.
I was about to say that.
But yeah, the guy, he had less than. I want to know how much notice the guy got. Shout out to him, man. I wouldn't mind seeing him again. Heyman's got so many shows now, so give the guy another chance. The guy had.
Did we ever
2 hours
find out what
notice,
happened to the bum that didn't even make the weigh-in?
Or
does nobody care because he's a bum and he got brought in to be a bum anyway?
Apparently he got B12 poison or something like that. He must have had some dodgy pack of vitamins.
Oh, fuck that. That's
I don't know.
bullshit.
No, I just made up the dodgy pack of vitamins, but apparently he had B12 poisoning.
Yeah, how do you get B12 poisoning?
I don't know.
Yo,
What the fuck is
Kev,
B12 poisoning?
Hey, Kev, what's the likelihood that one of us gets slapped if we ever call vitamins vitamins?
But that's how we say it over here, man. We say vitamins.
You might be able to call them. You might hear people say vitamins out here. You know, when they got some things going around.
What do you call it?
Yeah, we do call it. We do call it vitamins. Yeah.
Yeah, we call it
vitamins.
Vitamins.
Yeah, but you guys call it aluminum, so we all got our different words.
What do you call it? Aluminium?
Aluminium.
Cell phones, mobiles. Come on, man. Get with the program.
What is this, the fire? Come on, man. Oh, man. I swear, if I walked into a GNC store right now and I asked for a pack of vitamins, I'd get fucking slapped.
Cigarettes, fags. Come on.
Yo, the worst one is when we say niche and you say niche.
Niche.
Yeah, we call it niche.
Nah, it's niche, man.
Niche
sounds better as well.
Yeah, niche just like snitch without the S.
I'll give you that. Niche does definitely sound better, but yeah. But going back to the fight, Porter. I don't like Porter. I mean, even if Porter did show signs of improvement, none of us would give him any credit, right? Because he fought a guy last second that he was supposed to fight. So come on.
A guy who 24 hours before the fight didn't know he was fighting.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't even think he had a fight lined up. So he was just in whatever gym shape he was in.
Right. Gotcha.
That's not good. Like, if you're a world-class fighter, and that's one thing, Porter does train hard. You saw that preview show. Like, he does a lot of shit. Like, he does hard work. And if you put in 8 weeks of hard work like that, and you still couldn't really look like untouchable against a journeyman off of no notice, like, that's tough.
Yeah. You know what, Sean? I guess Sean's just one of those guys, man. Again, with going back to him training that hard and him just being a naturally gifted athlete. I mean, maybe he's never gonna, solve the puzzle. He's never gonna really add them all together. So.
Yeah, you get that in every sport, though. There's guys that have all the athletic ability and they just don't max it out for whatever reason. They don't understand the game or whatever. You see it in basketball all the time, first round busts and shit like that. And then you'll see like some fat fuck have a 15-year all-star career. Like, it just happens.
Right. No, that's a good point, man.
What a difference a year makes, though, because like this point last year, like we were all high on Porter, good win over Alexander.
Yeah.
Destroyed.
I think Lynn was the only one with me that was calling him over Thurman, and now you don't even need to watch the fights to know he's a bum.
No, he's not a bum, but he definitely needs to regroup and, work and stuff. But what do you guys see next for him? Fight-wise?
Jeez. Probably Berto.
I was thinking that because now you got Guerrero, you got Berto, you still got Josesito around. There's definitely some fights that have been made, but they're not really.
Josesito can't be getting another fight, man.
Nah, he will though. Like they'll feed us John Molina again. I guarantee you.
John Molina can't be getting another fight either.
I guarantee you.
Oh my god, man.
Hell no.
He should be fucking excommunicated from America, man.
I mean, it would make sense that for him to fight Berto. I mean, they have no ties to each other. They were on the same card, so they have the same time rest. I put that on the undercard of Broner's June card or something like that. Like, I don't think that's a bad fight. It's another like loser leaves home match. Like your boy Berto's like that Ric Flair run in WWF. Like next fight you lose, your career's over. So just keep feeding them the guys.
Apparently, I think I read somewhere Porter. He's already set up to fight again on May 2nd. So
well, I don't know if he was, but he was definitely lobbying for it.
So what's that? The Floyd card?
I heard that he already got the date or something like that.
Oh, okay.
We're probably just gonna video record one of his sparring sessions,
So, but May 2nd, isn't that Floyd's card?
That's what I'm saying. That's the
that's the fight.
Maybe it was him lobbying then, but I can't remember where. I read somewhere about that, but I don't know if it was official.
Yo, you guys see me trolling with that picture on Twitter?
What,
I don't have Twitter.
With the Floyd Photoshop picture with him all diesel.
Oh, was that photoshopped? I thought it was a real picture.
Yeah, well, one of them isn't photoshopped, and he does look big as fuck. But the other one is like cartoonish. So I kind of I started posting it, and I posted the wrong one. So I was like, fuck it. I tagged Gabe Montoya, and he retweeted all that shit out. And they were talking, he loves getting on Memo. He's like, Memo Sciences. I was like, oh, shit. Next thing you know, I got like 50 replies. Everybody's killing me. I'm like, I know it's Photoshop, man. Relax.
Memo's training with Floyd?
It seems like Fight Hype tried doing damage control because they even posted like the title to the post was Memo Heredia or Angel Heredia addresses rumors, and like they tried like throwing cold water on it, but Memo didn't go for it and was like, no, I'm consulting with Alex Ariza on improving Floyd's power. And they're like, so to clear it up, are you working for him or no? And he goes, no, I'm consulting with Ariza. We're working on getting his power up. So he never denied working with him. He just said, I'm not in the gym like all the stuff like that.
It's kind of like saying I just work for Ariza and not really like directly to Floyd, Yeah,
it's a way of Floyd putting space between him and Heredia.
Yeah, like taking backdoors and shit.
That's a good segue though, because I wanted to talk to you guys about the press conference, and I'm not gonna lie, I was shitting on the press conference. Twitter went crazy. People were messaging me like YouTube links, the live link, and I was like, fuck this shit, I'm not watching this. But there's a sports channel in the UK called Sky Sports News, and they were showing clips of it. And to me, that press conference was just fucking whack, man. It was terrible. The atmosphere was shit. It looked like it was all scripted. Manny Pacquiao's that rich, and he can't even get a fitted suit, man. The guy always looks like he's in some cheap ass suit. It's like, fuck, man. It just the whole atmosphere in that place was terrible.
He got that suit off JCPenney and shit.
Shit, you get that suit when you're going back to work, and you get a grant to find, to get a new suit for your job application. But yeah,
$100 cheese suit.
Did you guys catch it? And if you did, what do you think?
I thought it was fucking whack. Because you know how I was contacting you guys. I was trying to find out if this shit was open to the public. Apparently it wasn't. It was just open for the media. Which is kind of garbage, man. Because the last time Floyd was here in LA with the Marcos Maidana, that was like an awesome fucking atmosphere, man. But, I understand that why he didn't do that, man, because he would have had like a ton of Mexicans out in the fucking Nokia Center cussing them out. Fuck you, Floyd. Fuck you, puto, and all this shit. And, yeah, it probably would have, like, fucked him up and got Pacquiao probably a little pumped. And plus, being that it's in L.A., we got a ton of Filipinos out here, so, those guys would have been out there supporting, too.
Yep. Ari, what do you think? You see it?
I thought the Mexicans don't fuck with Pacquiao, do they?
Nah, they fuck with him, man.
He's beat all their legends, though.
Huh?
He's beating up all their legends.
Yeah, but you know how Mexicans are, man. They right now, like,
it's a style thing, though. He did it in a style that they respect and like, with that straightforward,
Yeah. Oh. And plus, it's just like whoever Floyd fights, everybody's gonna be against him. So.
Yeah. No, but Cam, no, I skipped through it. I didn't watch it live. I saw parts, I skipped past Aram's drivel. I liked Espinoza, throwing little shots. But, I didn't really listen to Manny either. Yeah, man, go on to the next guy, because I didn't really concentrate on it. But, from what I saw, it wasn't entertaining at all. It was more, like you said, it seemed scripted and
it wasn't like entertaining. It wasn't entertaining because we're used to wild shit and stuff like that. But this got on ESPN Live Sports Center. I don't ever remember that. Maybe it happened De La Hoya versus Floyd, but I was in the military, so I don't really remember if it was. But this was live. They had a countdown for it on Sports Center, put it on Sports Center. So obviously that's why they produced it the way they did, and it was toned down. So I'm cool with it like that. I mean, what are you really getting? I mean, I know Cam loves analyzing press conferences and 24/7s and stuff, but you're not going to get much out of that for this fight. But they obviously toned it down because they were getting mainstream, and I guarantee more people watched that press conference than most fights. So it did the job for what it had to do. But really, what are you going to get? Floyd is fucking corny and annoying. Manny just trolls the media and acts like he doesn't understand a word you're saying and says 3-word answers and smiles. And, Freddie Roach talks shit, and that's about it. There's nobody else really out there. Espinoza was kind of being a scumbag, and then Bob came out gangster, and he sounded like a scumbag too, though. So,
Ari, you being in the UK, obviously, like me, Sky Sports rarely would show a press conference for anything other than Eddie Hearn's cards or anything. So, you realistically seeing that Sky will get the rights to air that in the UK?
Of course. Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't announced it yet. Box Nation hasn't got even like 10% of the budget to compete. Sky already. It's obvious Sky again. The way they're already talking about it and publicizing it, and Sky only talk about sports that they have.
Yep.
Like look at now, they just got a sport recently. They just got the rights for MLS, the American League, Soccer League, and they've never talked about it before. Now all of a sudden they're talking about it like they fully know what they're talking about. Other sports, everything, they get Formula 1.
It's true. Before they got Formula 1, they never used to talk about it.
Exactly. As soon as they get a show that it's basically, it's the propaganda channel, basically. That's what they do. So, yeah, they're constantly talking about Mayweather Pacquiao. They're definitely getting it. Ringside's constantly talking about it. Yeah, definitely.
Yo, I got one quick question for you UK guys, man. The Kell Brook fight is right around the corner. Eddie Hearn keeps talking about that he's going to announce the fight pretty soon on which broadcast in the U.S.
Oh, well, I'll stop you right there, Joe. They announced it today.
Showtime.
It's going to be on Showtime.
Oh, nice.
It's Showtime.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
On the same network as Khan, but,
I think they might just
Khan
get...
don't want it.
What do you
Khan
think?
Don't want that right hand.
You got any more information, Ari? Is it just the main event? Are they showing any of the undercard?
Yeah, it's mostly just the main event.
Yeah, because the undercard's pretty shit, to be honest.
Yeah. Showtime they got a good event that day. They got not Rodriguez, Gonzalez versus Gary Russell, and I think it's a triple header maybe. I can't remember fully, but yeah, Gary Russell, Gonzalez. Who's the Charlo versus
Matarosian.
Yeah, but Ranus Martin. Yeah,
and that's kind of good if you think about it, because that's all Al Heyman cards, and if that happens, then maybe the Khan Brook fight does have a little chance to come alive, man.
Yeah, well, they're showing Brook live at 6 p.m. Eastern, I think, and then they're gonna go back, then they'll restart the show again at 10, and, to show the Russell fight, Gonzalez, and I guess they would after that fight they'll show the Brook fight again.
Probably. Getting feedback.
Yo, who has the background noise?
Who's got the feedback?
This is Dan.
Dan, I think you got the feedback.
Yeah, there's an echo.
Hey, come on, man. Hey, Cam, you didn't ask me about my opinion about the press conference, man. That's not very nice of you.
I apologize, Dan. I apologize. What was your thoughts of the press conference? Don't say you didn't see it.
Yeah, I didn't see it. But still, it's not. It's the fact that you didn't ask. It's the thought that counts. So, but the one thing I did watch was, how Pacquiao always is on Jimmy Kimmel for any big fight.
Yeah, I saw that bit.
There was one bit that was pretty fucking funny on Jimmy Kimmel with Manny. So, and I know I'm the one who always shits on people when they look at fighters train and say, "Wow, this guy looks good, this guy doesn't." But dude, if you go on Manny's Instagram. He's training like a fucking beast, man.
Yeah, that dude is, man. He's going at it, man. You can see his fucking speed and the way he hits that punching bag. It's pretty intense, bro.
Yeah. And Lim, they got it cut off, right? Like downstairs, so there's not public. So I think Roach said he's been kicking people out and keeping like real private sessions, which is not the norm for Pacquiao.
Yeah, there used to be a laundromat that was right below the wild card, and Freddie brought that about a couple of years ago and converted it into a private gym. So that's where Cotto and Manny trains at.
Yeah. Because you're over there right now, right? You're in Cali right now, right?
Yeah. Yep. And what's funny? You remember that blonde guy that we all shit on? That's Cotto's trainer.
That's Assault.
Yeah, that's Assault, brother.
One of my really good friends from high school has a sports training facility out here in Redondo Beach, and he's like really close friends with that guy. And we went out to lunch this past Saturday, and he accidentally touched my hand with his fork, and I was like, "That's assault." And he was like, "What?" I said, "That's assault."
But McMillan doesn't work with Pacquiao though, correct?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't.
Yeah, that's just Justin Fortune.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it's fascinating stuff that they all do. You know, I know the guy is probably not a very cool guy, but like they're really into their shit and they know a lot about sports training and stuff.
Well, actually, if you Google McMillan, he's got some fucking credentials, man. Like I only really did because of the we shitted on him so much. I felt like I kind of like not we, I guess me. I was joking on him. So I did some research and I looked up and he's legit, man. He's no joke and. That's good, man. So is he like a house trainer over there, or he just does the elite guys and stuff?
No, he only does the top guys. And I know you guys don't watch MMA, but for the main card,
yeah, he used to do. He was what's his name's main trainer,
Yeah.
St. Pierre, back in the day.
No, but my boy, shout out to Nick Curson, who's my guy. He trained Dos Anjos, who just beat the fuck out of Pettis. So my
last
boy
night, yeah, right, yeah, right to go.
I hope the Santos don't piss hot, man.
Yeah, MMA black hole. Come on, man.
No, that's fair. No, I just
He
want to
fought
give
the heat for 5 rounds. People are saying they won't be surprised if he tests positive.
I just want to give a shout
all
out to
the positive testing going on.
All right, let me bring it back to boxing. Dan, a few questions about the wild card. A few questions about the wild card, Dan. Nothing for something asked in the chat. Is Cotto training for a fight? Is he in training? Also, what's the situation with Ruslan? Is he training with Marvin?
Yeah, Ruslan's training. Ruslan's been here for about a month. I've seen Cotto in and out, but I haven't seen him on a consistent basis. But yeah, Ruslan is definitely training, so that's good.
But I thought Cotto usually loves to train early in the fucking morning, 4:30 a.m. type of shit, right?
Yeah, but he trains.
But those are only the strength sessions. Like he does the road work and all that early, and then gym sessions later.
Exactly.
Which is why I hate the whole Floyd, I work while you sleep. Well, when you're sleeping until 3 in the afternoon, Cotto already had 2 sessions in. So I don't get that whole thing. And I had a big argument with somebody on Twitter. Somebody was just killing me because nobody works like Floyd. I'm like, every pro trains 2 to 3 times a day, 6 to 7 days a week.
It'd be like that logic would be so fucked up because everybody works on a 24-hour cycle.
Exactly.
But people just don't understand that.
Yeah. Yo, let me ask you something. Maybe you don't even know though, Dan, but just from being over there, you heard, and I heard this, I guess from people who know Algieri that, and Roach talked about it too, that he kind of brought back that heavy bag work to Pacquiao's camp where, in the past few fights, as you get older, they barely work the heavy bag at all in camps. And he actually brought it back where he was working it 3 or 4 times a week or something like that. And do you hear anything about that? And that he's continuing because you actually see the Instagram. He's on the heavy bag still.
Yeah, I don't know anything about any kind of methodology in terms of what they did in the past versus what they do now. But I know Manny's always done heavy bag work, and I think Manny's just one of those guys. Even if Freddie tells him not to do so, he's going to do it regardless. But yeah, I don't know anything.
Oh, yeah, because Roach actually said the past few fights that he wasn't really doing it, but here and there, it wasn't a staple. Yeah. And then he kind of brought it back where he would have him do, the 15, 20 minutes straight and watch him on the heavy bag, 4 sessions. And Algieri actually, his people said that he found it crazy that a guy that powerful wasn't even hitting the bag, but so often, So. Yeah. You see him posting on Instagram, and that shit's just amazing how he rips that fucking thing.
Yo, honestly, again, I haven't seen Manny rip the fucking heavy bag like that in a long ass time. So.
And Jose, shout out to Jose, Troll Zay, fucking. He's always talking about Pacquiao hasn't been fired up and training for fights and taking anybody serious, and I think there's some validity to that. Especially when you see, like you said, you haven't heard him or see him ripping heavy bags like that in a long time. And I think there is some, validity to that. And that he's going to take this fight a lot serious and try to be that throwback guy.
Yeah, I agree. It's, but going back to the whole Floyd aspect of it, I rewatched that first Maidana fight, and I just can't believe that he would knowingly or actively take those risks that he did in the fight just for the, entertainment of people. I just feel like he is slipping. And I just don't see how Manny doesn't catch him with consistent straight left hands.
And just look at it like the whole narrative. He never gets tired. He's a welterweight throwing 37 punches around. He shouldn't get tired. And I just think even when Manny's not at his best, like he's still throwing 60, 70 punches, and a lot of them are hard and fast. And if you outwork somebody, you could win rounds.
Yeah. And again, people also bring up the second Bradley fight and that big right hand that Bradley caught Manny with. And honestly, that's a really fair point. And Floyd, I'm sure, can catch Manny with something of similar note. But when has Floyd ever been that offensive of a fighter? When has he ever abandoned his defense to that extent? I don't really see it.
And even Bradley on that Under the Lights session said, like, this is something that we seen and timed in the first fight, and we tried it, and that was the one time it landed. So that was something he came into the fight completely looking to do, and he could only get it off the one time,
Crow.
Guys, we got my boy Nicky, a.k.a. Nelson, a.k.a. Nota. What's happening, Nota?
Nelson. No, fuck.
What's happening, Nota?
What are you giving him a crow for?
I don't know, I just felt like giving him crow for some reason.
Yo, what was up with all these fights on the prediction league? Did you guys get to that yet? Because I think you're digging a little deep, Cam.
The fact that he had to cancel a couple of them.
Yeah, we had to.
I'm digging deep. They're all good.
I think you're digging a little deep. I mean, I'm gonna have to hit up Nicky a little more, Naota a little more often, and try to find out who the fuck these people are.
Which one are you talking about, guys? Which one are you talking about, Kev?
I think
Naota about to be on that BN Sport cartoon.
What did you say, Nota? You said Nota.
Did you put the Fernando Montiel fight on there?
No.
Because I don't think it was. Yeah, I didn't think so. I mean, that was a mismatch anyway. He pretty much dominated that dude. He did get dropped in the last round, though. It's like he got too cocky. That happens with that guy sometimes. And also, he's fighting at 130 pounds, which is 15 pounds beyond his prime weight. But, I mean, that's a whole aside, though. Did you guys I heard you mention a couple of the other fights. Did you guys mention Francisco Rodriguez, though? That was a good-ass fight, man. Him versus Tomlinson.
Nah, that's where you come in. We're waiting on you.
Yeah, man, that was probably the second best fight. I mean, it was the best fight until Pascal showed out against Kovalev a little bit, showed that he has a better chin than advertised. But, I mean, the Vargas-Tomlinson fight was damn good, man. That shit was action from the first round. Tomlinson, normally when you see a guy that's overmatched like that and he's just getting his ass whooped from, like, the opening bell, they just kind of, they go into defense, like, shell mode, and they try to take as little damage as possible. Tomlinson was trying to answer back every time Vargas hit him, even though it was clear that Vargas was the stronger, more precise fighter. So, I mean, he pretty much had him beat on all accounts. And
you're Nauta.
Down, but Tomlinson showed a lot of heart, man.
Hey, Nauta, how many miles did you just run?
About 10. Why?
Just curious.
Okay. But I'm driving now, though. I don't know if that's why you might hear background noise, but what you call it? I mean, Vargas, I think he did a damn good job, and I would pick him over Salido if they were to fight soon, because he's one of Salido. He's actually Salido's, I think, top mandatory. I think he's the number 1 contender for that belt, and he's also the number 1 or 2 contender for either Takashi Miura or Uchiyama, one of the two. I think in a couple.
What channel was that fight on TV?
It was on HBO Latino.
Nota, Nota, are you on hands free? Because you sound really low. It's very hard to hear you.
Yeah, I'm on a Bluetooth, man. I'll try to speak a little bit louder.
Okay.
But, because I'm. What's up?
No, we don't want you to hurt yourself, though.
I'm good, man. But, man, hey, the Pascal Kovalev fight, I thought you were being a little bit hard on Kovalev there, Lim. I was actually a little bit surprised seeing you defend a Heyman fighter in Stevenson. I mean, I don't think Kovalev's hiding glass. I think Kovalev's chin is fucking excellent. I think if he was hiding glass, then Pascal would have knocked him the fuck out with a couple of those shots. Because Pascal has real power, man.
Yeah, but to my fairness, I did retract that statement a little bit afterwards, so.
No, that's true. That's true.
But, no, you're right. You're right. I was definitely a little bit too harsh. I do
agree. I do agree with you on the matchup, though. I think Kovalev is a little bit open enough that if Stevenson can land one of those mollywops, he could do some real damage. I mean, that's just a compelling fight all the way around, regardless of who you favor, who you like, dislike, whatever.
That's the thing. I obviously I don't give two shits about Adonis Stevenson. I think I fucking hate him. He kind of embodies everything that is wrong with boxing right now. But again, you can't deny that. You can't deny his natural talent.
He's a piece of shit.
To follow up on that too, I spoke to Darnell Boone like last year, and he said that Pascal has a lot more power in his punch than Kovalev. It's just that he only has power in the one hand, whereas Kovalev is a lot more solid and physically, body wise, stronger. But Stevenson's left hand is the best punch out of both of their arsenals.
I can see that.
Noto, I saw you kind of ranting after the fight with Berto Lopez about the stoppage.
Oh, yeah, that stoppage was whack, man. If that happened in Mayweather-Pacquiao, people wouldn't be like, oh, no, it's all good. Well, like some people were on Saturday, but, I mean, that's just me. I actually hold all fighters to the same account and hold all the refs, all the judges, everybody. I'm trying to hold them all to the same fucking standard. You know, it's boxing. It's a standardized sport, period. And if a guy goes down, you give him that motherfucking 10 count. Give him the fucking 10 count. I mean, obviously, if he's getting fucking annihilated against the ropes and he's not going down, he's taking like 20 flush shots in a row, then yeah, stop it. But I mean, that Lopez Berto stoppage was fucking awful, especially because Lopez was whooping his ass the entire time. And I'm a Berto fan, and he was getting fucked up. Like 4 out of those 5 rounds, he was getting fucked up. He was getting outboxed and whooped.
You think so? Fuck, man, I was way off. Besides the TMT twins, and who also have money on Berto, I don't think anybody else agrees with me that he was winning. But
it's the only people that had money on Berto, basically.
Yeah. But I thought to be honest, did Berto not win the 3rd and the 5th round?
I mean, I thought the 3rd was pretty even, but I definitely give him the 5th. I definitely give him the 5th because I thought he came back a little bit in that round.
So you basically had Lopez winning 1 through 4.
Yeah, I had it 4-1 at the time of the stoppage. You know, of course, Berto would have won that 6th, but I mean, it didn't even get beyond where the ref called it. So I mean, that's almost like a non-factor. But I mean, just the fact, that was just a bad stoppage to me, man. It was bad. It was way worse than the fucking Pascal Kovalev. And so, people were acting like Pascal Kovalev was bad. Pascal was fucking stumbling all over the ring like he was a drunk man. I mean, he couldn't even stay still. He was actually lucky that Pabon let that shit go further for him to take those last couple of shots. Not to mention that, I mean, even that stoppage, I wasn't really a big fan of when it first happened, but I could kind of see the reasoning behind it when they showed the slow-mo up close, just because of the fact that, I mean, you could see just how brutal those last couple of shots were. And Pascal had no defense for him. He had no defense for him. He got hit flush by both of those. And that was after he fucking stumbled like halfway across the damn ring. I mean, you can't do that with a ref looking right at you and like, are you okay? And then realizing like, damn, this shit should probably be stopped. You can't allow that to happen, man.
Yep. Anything else for us, Nota? Because we might have to let you go. Your quality's improved though, so you can stay on if you want. But anything else for us before I get to some callers?
Well, I thought you guys were being a little hard on Porter too, man. I would pick. To be honest, I wouldn't count. Shit. I wouldn't count Porter out against either Floyd or Pacquiao, man, just by virtue of his skill set. I mean, the thing is, yeah, he lost to Kell Brook, but Kell Brook has a particular type of style that you're not going to see from any other welterweight. None of those guys can do that jab, grab, Klitschko type shit that he was able to do to Porter. None of them. Not even Thurman. Thurman could do a little bit of it, but I don't think he even has the physical strength of Kell Brook. And to be honest, I'm not even sure if Brook could necessarily do it again just by virtue of the fact that, I mean, that machete fucking stab wound, that shit was god awful, man. I don't think he's going to be able to come back 100% from that shit. And I mean, I would pick I think they're probably going to put Porter up against Berto next. He's going to body the fuck out of Berto. And then, I mean, I think they're going to keep him away from Thurman, though. Because I think Porter's all wrong for Thurman. I think him and Maidana both. The way they throw those wild shots and they're not orthodox at all. Thurman needs you to be orthodox in order to time you. And the way they just cut at you and with all kinds of punches at all kinds of angles, he's not going to be able to predict that shit and he's going to get fucked up.
Fair enough, Nelson. Okay, Nikki, we're going to let you go, yeah? Get to some other callers. Or do you want to stay on? It's up to you.
Just leave me out, man. I'll mute myself.
Okay, cool. All right, let's get to Alan. Are you there, Alan?
I'm here, mate. You alright?
Good, thank you. Alan, you're back on Segura's undercard. What happened, bro?
Oh, I've had a bad week, mate. Bad week. He got the Thomas Ustad and split decision, so I changed some of my decisions up to try and make up for it. And it didn't work out.
Oh, well. You'll get him back next week.
Yeah, well, not really. There's only 2 fights on there, so
True.
it's a bit hard.
Yeah. You still got a few weeks till the end of the prediction league for the season 1.
When are you ending it?
It's basically last weekend of, April. So starts fresh on the 1st of May. So basically, the Mayweather card will be like one of the main fights for the season 2.
Okay. Am I the only one that scored Glasgow winning?
No.
I scored Glasgow on knockout stoppage, I think.
No, I mean, I actually, in the score in the fight, I thought Glasgow won.
You thought you won?
Yeah.
I think you're the only person?
Sorry?
I think you're the only person? You still there, Lynn?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Sorry, I don't know what that noise was done. I think it was done.
It was no time.
Was it no time? Okay.
I think it was.
That was me booing. That's a terrible decision.
That sounded like a cow going moo, man. It didn't sound like boo. It sounded like moo.
Glasgow could have won.
Why did you think?
Alan, Beeb on Twitter said that he thought Glasgow could win. Thought he won him. He could go either way. I'm still there.
I was going to say, so did you score the fight?
Well, on my hand, I didn't have a bit of pen and paper or anything. There's quite a few close rounds, but the more telling shots was from Glasgow. He hurt him more than he got hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. To me, it seemed like he won. I thought it'd be a split decision, which I predicted. I thought it was very close. I didn't think he won it by a mile or anything. I thought the round in it or something like that. But to me, it seemed he had, the better. Have you heard about this Total Combat starting on Wednesday on BT Sport?
No. Give us the heads up. No? What is it?
It's a 1 round for 6 minutes. A 6-minute round, and they've got to knock them out to get more money. I think that's like a timer cooking down the money they get, and they've got to knock them out before the time runs out.
So it's boxing.
It's on BT Sport. Yeah, boxing.
Is it in the States or?
No, in England.
No, that's the first I've heard about it.
No, yeah, it's called whack it on YouTube or something. BT's Total Combat. I think it starts Wednesday.
I'll check it out. It sounds a bit harsh though. Was it 1 6-minute round? That's long, man.
Yeah, in the the motivation is to knock them out. It's not like going to be outscoring boxing matches. It's just going to be a brutal. Well, it's just going to be going at it. Trying to knock one out as quick as possible.
Yeah.
So it sounds interesting, but I don't think you're going to have any top names going into it.
No, I think it'd be a bit of a niche or niche, as the Americans would say.
Yeah, something like that.
But you got anything else for us, Alan?
Sorry, not really. I enjoyed the Kovalev fight. He's proven again that he's a force to be reckoned with, isn't he?
Definitely.
He's taking them out like he's taking them all out, isn't he? Really, who can survive with him? It'd be interesting to see who can take him out. I think he's got the better of Stevenson.
And what do you think of the Berto Josesito? Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that. Yep. I agree with you that Lopez was winning the fight, but he got took out. I think Kilbrick wants a bit of Berto next, I think. In Berto and Victor Ortiz names seem to be mentioned quite a lot of times by the Hearn and Kilbrick. Even though I don't want that fight, I'd rather him have Khan or Berman, but I reckon he's going to end up with Berto or Ortiz.
Yeah, or even maybe like Brandon Rios, possibly.
Yeah, that name's been mentioned a few times. You seen the sides of Kilbrick's scar? It was on the IFL earlier on YouTube.
I didn't see it on IFL. I did see it like when it happened, and it is a massive scar.
Right across the side, it nearly chopped his leg off.
Yep.
Crazy.
Yeah, the IFL interview today.
Yeah, he's got one on today. Yeah.
I'll watch that later. Oh yeah, I see it. Yeah.
Frank Warren one on there as well.
Yeah, that one's a bit long, man.
Hey, this Jojo Dan fight's gonna tell a lot about him. If he doesn't dominate Jojo Dan, I think he might be damaged goods, man. Because Jojo Dan is a fucking bum, and he should win every fucking second of that fight.
I agree.
Yeah, I think he'll stop him.
Nah, trust me, Brooks good, man. Apparently he's looking good in the gym. He's actually breaking targets that he had, breaking records that he had before.
Is he dropping sparring partners with body shots like Floyd or no?
Hey, is he taking full power right hands from James Degale?
Apparently he's sparring John Ryder.
Yeah, well, yeah, Ryder's a middleweight, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a bigger bloke with quite a heavy hitter as well.
Yeah.
Hey, Ari, what kind of targets are you speaking of?
Treadmill
targets.
On the treadmill?
I guess. What it said was targets.
Nice. That's sick. That's sick. That's sick, bro.
How's his weight? Didn't he have issues with weight before the the Porter fight?
My weight?
My weight?
No, I don't think he had problems. I don't think he had problems before the Porter fight.
He said on this YouTube interview, he said like when he was going up through the boxing ranks, he wants to win belts at multiple weights. So I think he'll have a few defenses, but I think he will move up.
Well, yeah, I guess they want to fight Khan first.
Yeah, they want
to go up to 154.
He needs some money fights, doesn't he? He needs to make some money. Yeah, that's
so.
Are you
telling me he wants to go down my boy Canelo's route, just win a belt at 148, 149, 150?
Sure. That's wait and see.
153.
Okay, Alan, anything else? We got Segura on the line. I feel like keeping you on just in case Segura comes down and talks some smack, at least you can respond to.
He calls when he's winning, doesn't he?
Let's see what he says. Segura, are you there?
Alan,
right,
I heard your voice, so I thought, I wasn't really paying attention. Then I heard your voice, and I thought, wow, I must be fighting this soon. Alan's on my undercard again. What's going on, man?
What's happening, Segura?
So, I had a couple things. So I was sitting at work today, and I was like thinking about the Provodnikov and Matisse fight.
Yep.
And I was looking at like for some pad work or whatever. I was doing my Kevin Hearn impression, looking for videos and stuff, and I found a little bit of pad work. Provodnikov, and he was just slamming. He was knocking that the Filipino Freddie Roach. He's just like knocking him around the ring with his body shots. And then I thought I had to see a little bit of Matisse. And I just found a couple still shots of him, and he's outside with his shirt off, and he's wearing like a gas mask. It's like the most badass training you can do. I don't know if there's any like athletic or like stamina effects to that. He's just out there with a fucking gas mask. I don't think it gets much more bad.
It just makes it harder for you to breathe while you're doing whatever it is you're doing. So.
Yeah, but I mean, is that really good for you? Just like I understand, like training at high altitude or something like that.
I mean, that's supposed to like be like a similar effect, but it's really not. I mean, it'll kind of strengthen your diaphragm and shit, just because of the fact that it makes it tougher to inhale, really. But I mean, outside of that, I think like that's something that it has a limited effect in comparison to
what the altitude mask, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
Yeah, but it's
Segura.
That's
what we call that's what we call bro science. You know, that's the effects of a that mask. That doesn't do to me. Doesn't that just make it that much harder for you to train as hard as you normally would without the mask?
Right, Lem. That's pretty much what I was saying.
No, I mean, I get it. I from a more scientific standpoint, yeah, it increases your or it strengthens your diaphragm. But what I'm trying to say is it disallows you from going at maximum capacity or just at full explosiveness. That I do feel like is something you also pick up on. And obviously you wouldn't be able to do that with that mask. But yeah, my bad for another black hole. So carry on.
I'm going to say this. Maybe it's like simulating, like when he gets the wind knocked out of him in a fight, say he takes like a body shot. It's like you teach your body how to like react and do whatever the drill they're doing, perform with that situation. Then when he catches a fucking body shot from Provodnikov, it probably will feel like he's wearing a gas mask.
Well, kind of like a few years ago when they showed Bradley spinning around and making himself dizzy, just so like in case he got hurt, like when he got rocked by Kendall Holt, he'd know what to do, like when he was hurt.
Yeah, he should have been out there with high heels for the training for Pacquiao then.
Rigondeaux does the most badass variation of that stuff. With all that Cuban training, he does that spinning thing, and then he rolls around the mat for like a minute straight, and then he has to shadow backs for a minute. It's pretty cool. But anyway, Segura, regarding the videos, was there any specific reason why you were watching those videos?
Oh shit, man! Someone's after. The cops are after someone.
Oh shit, Alan, you alright, man?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm alright. They just saw an Asian driver, so they had to put the signs on. But but regardless, was there a reason why you were looking for those videos, Segura, or just?
No, I mean I'm just jacked up for the fight. I'm real disappointed it's not in fucking Atlantic City. I was coming at Steve Kim was like shitting on it a little bit, and we got into a little spiff. It's like why can't it be in Atlantic City? What, it's going to be in fucking Turning Stone? That's better than Atlantic City,
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Whatever.
Yeah, I hear you. But any changes in how you see that fight playing out, or are you still kind of sticking with Matisse?
I'm still thinking Matisse grabs it, but I was watching Provodnikov, just his demeanor kind of scares me. Like I'm a big Matisse fan. I mean, I'm a Provodnikov fan too, but I could see Provodnikov like kind of ending Matisse's career, and maybe like vice versa. Like their careers are going to be shortened after April 18th.
Oh yeah, no doubt. And Matisse was already contemplating retirement after the Danny fight, so I'm sure if he goes through a brutal war, even if he wins, I'm sure he'll still think about hanging up the gloves.
Yeah, that's kind of soft to be considering retirement after one loss. I don't know.
Yeah.
I got a question, guys. You said that MLS was about to be on Sky Sports. Do you guys know how bad the MLS is compared to the football you guys watch?
Yeah, I do. I tried to watch the game yesterday.
Tried.
What? I can't think like what that is compared to. It's like it's probably like high school or formal school.
I don't know, but
you guys will be watching.
I don't know, but I think I should go over there because they need some defenders.
It's like watching JoJo Dan fight. That's what it's like.
I really could be a top player in MLS.
Well, I'm telling you, man.
But Segura, you got anything else for us?
Yeah, boys, that's all I got. I'll check in next week if I'm in first place.
Alan, Segura, thank you guys for phoning.
Peace.
Take care, boys. All right, let me try and get to MV Chu. Said that he's finished work and he's going home, so I'll try and ring his mobile phone in the UK, cell phone in the US.
His Sally.
His Sally. Sally.
We should get my mom on the podcast, man.
Should get who in the podcast?
My mom.
So she could talk about Martinez, Sergio.
Exactly.
My boy Lewis.
Tom, what's good?
Good, man. Good to have you on the show. Fortunately, you had to work tonight, but at least you're jumping on for a bit. Let's talk about Kovalev, one of your favourite active fighters at the moment. What do you think of his performance against Pascal?
Yeah, it was legendary, man. I didn't catch the fight live. I had to watch it through Interbox, the French language thing, on Simbros. And every time Kovalev landed, it was, ooh la la, ooh la la. And I was really expressing how I felt just looking at it every time he landed something. I was wincing. Pascal's a good fighter. Everybody he faces, he puts hands on them. He's just a tough son of a bitch. And credit to him, he's got heart. He's got black bow on the trunks, and I see it. I definitely see it, man. He's got a lot of courage, man. But Kovalev's a beast. That jab just sets everything up. When he throws it right hand, he puts his whole fucking body behind it. To be honest, I can see Kovalev getting knocked out at some point. Because he kind of leaps in a bit.
Yep.
When he throws that right hand. But it's going to have to be a KO puncher like a Stevenson who's going to be him. I think he beats Andre Ward. I definitely think he beats Andre Ward. I think Andre Ward's got nothing for him, power-wise. He could box him, but I don't think he's anyone's capable of boxing Kovalev. I think Kovalev's boxing ability is underrated. His footwork's underrated. I seen Bernard Hopkins. He gave an ESPN chat on the Friday. You know the live chat thing that Dan Raphael used to do. And someone asked him a question, and he says, "If you could go back and take that fight again, what would you do differently?" He never really gave an answer, but he said that he underestimated Kovalev's footwork, how fast he was with his feet. And he was told by his advisors that he was a lot slower than what he was. But that's Kovalev for you, man. He's underrated. He's got everything. He's got a chin now. No one knew that he had a chin like that, but he's got a great chin. And I don't know what you guys think, but I think Andre works. Never going to move up to light heavyweight. I think he's going to be super middleweight for a long time.
I agree. I think he'll retire at super middle. I don't think he's going to go up to 175. But Chew, did you manage to see any other fights on the weekend?
I was watching it live. I was watching the Steve Cunningham Glasgow fight, and that just put me to sleep, man. That was just a terrible fight. Terrible. Steve Cunningham, nice guy, family problems. Yeah, I hope he gets better. I hope his family get better. He deserves a payday, but to be honest with you, got a boring style. I know it's people controversial nowadays, but I'm not. He's been in some classic fights. Don't get me wrong. The Amir Mansour fight was a classic fight, but it can only be exciting if the opponent in front of him is exciting in Glasgow for this fucking joke. I never want to see that guy fight again. It's just, what as if he was on a diabetes come down or something, man. What as if he needed some fucking insulin in him, like, just no energy. Fucking energy whatsoever, man.
Did you manage to see the Berto Josesito Lopez fight?
I did actually. Josesito Lopez was tapping their ass and then they got caught. To me, Josesito Lopez just looked too pumped up for the fight. He was too... looked as if he was going to go in and murder someone, and I just thought it was just like a ball of fucking rage. And then Berto landed a decent punch and then finished it. Credit to Berto, he's a good finisher when he helps someone, but I just thought Josesito Lopez just threw it away. Because he was winning that fight up until the knockdown or the knockout. He won every round.
What did you think of the stoppage?
It was too far too quick. You know, like, there was shot, don't get me wrong, but like after a second knockdown, and to me it looked as if the referee wanted Berto to win. Like, 2 knockdowns, give him the chance, give him the count, at least.
Yep.
Give him the count, see if he can make it, but, you know, clearly Andre Berto's got more of the upside, more of the name, more of the potential for bigger fights, so, you know, the guy couldn't get him out of there quick enough. It was a shame, man. And by the way, I've seen the Sean Porter fight as well, Eric Boney. That Boney guy looked pretty good, actually, considering it was last minute.
Yep.
Sean Porter, I don't know, he looked a bit, he looked beast-like, man, but I don't know how hard he punches, man. He lands like a lot of hard shots, but to me it doesn't look like the guys are, you know, too flustered by it. I think as he goes up in competition, I really struggle to see, like, who he beats. Who does he beat? Does he beat Keith Thurman? Nah, I don't think so. He doesn't beat Danny Garcia. Doesn't beat Madonna. He doesn't beat Madonna for me. A lot of guys he doesn't beat at 147. You know, obviously Pacquiao, Floyd, he wouldn't beat them. I don't know. I think Porter's really got to face a guy like a gatekeeper status fight. I don't know, maybe a Victor Ortiz, something like that. See where he's at, but I don't know. I'm not convinced by his power.
Yep, definitely agree with you, Chew. Definitely agree. Anything else you want to talk about while you're on the line?
No, man, that's it, bro. Have a good show, boy, and I'll catch you later, eh?
One last thing, Jack Captain in the chat earlier asked where was Chew. We said he was working. He said he better not be at the pub quiz. Chew, were you at the pub quiz?
Nah, mate. After I was at the pub because I came last, and I'm never going again. I got a sombrero hat though. I was like my prize for last. And I was working, man. Unfortunately, man, I'm a chef, and I fucking work these long nights, you know. And it's shite, but you know, man. Next week I'll be back. I hope. What's the fights next week, man?
Next week is quite chill. I think the highlights are Kamagai versus Alfonso Gomez and Jürgen Bremer versus Robin Kroneski. So it's a bit of a shit weekend next week.
I fought Danny Garcia and Olympic Pearson. Is that the week after?
Yeah, that's at the start of April, I think. April 11th.
Is it? Alright, okay, I'm fucking getting my days next to 5. Alright, man. Okay, this whole week.
No problem with you. Great having you on the line. Speak to you soon.
Alright, bye. Speak to you soon.
Cheers to you. Right, let's start wrapping it up. And let me I need to get Hamada on the line because Hamada wanted to call. Ari, why is the reason that Hamada wanted to call? He wanted to kind of join in with you regarding a certain...
No, he just wants to talk boxing.
No, man, he wanted to gang up with you on a rant, man. What's the rant about?
No, we're not ranting. But we haven't... I think you wanted to speak about earlier. We haven't spoken about the purse bid. You know.
Yeah. Hamada, how you doing, brother? Hamada.
Yo.
How you doing? You good?
Yeah, man, I'm good, man. You not saying?
Hamada, you thought you had issues with the stoppage, right?
Yeah, man, that was a shit stoppage, man.
Which fight?
Pascal Kovalev.
Come on, Hamada, man.
Nah, I disagree.
Hamada,
he's not the only one, though. A lot of people on Twitter, especially right after it happened, were kind of pissed.
Yeah, right after, because they didn't see what happened. They didn't have that camera angle yet of what Pascal was doing while Kovalev was getting attended to.
Oh, yeah. When he was stumbling into the corner?
Yeah, they hadn't seen that. They hadn't seen that before.
Let me explain. Basically, at the time, on Saturday night, obviously it was late, and I was watching the fight, and I didn't really notice much. Like I was just really tired. Like obviously, Isaac Chilemba and didn't help, but I was watching it, and I thought, yeah, the stoppage was all right. But then I watched it back again today, and I think the stoppage was bad because of the way the referee handled it. Firstly, Pascal was moving backwards and Kovalev hit him with a left hook, and then he fell backwards into the ropes and the ropes kept him up. The referee should have stopped it there and given Pascal a count. Start giving him, obviously because the ropes kept him up, that's a knockdown. But obviously then Kovalev slipped. And then when Kovalev slipped, the referee went over to Pascal and started asking him, are you alright? Are you alright? Are you alright? Like, I knew from then onwards he was just going to stop it. And then only 2 punches. If he took like 6 or 7 punches unanswered, then I would have been fine with it. But just 2 punches. Plus, in round 3...
If he took 6 or 7 punches, he might not be getting up anymore.
Yeah, but I still think it's premature. And he was more hurt in the 3rd round when he was given the benefit of the doubt. And then he came out in the 4th round and he did nothing for about a minute. He did nothing. And the referee didn't stop it then. So
yeah, he did come out on shaky legs in the 4th round after he got draped over the ropes. He got rocked.
Exactly. So I think it was premature, but I'm fine with it. I don't think it's controversial, but it was premature slightly. But maybe 4 or 5 more punches, he might end up in the hospital. So, it might have saved some of Pascal's career.
I think Hamada wanted him to die, man.
Nah, man. But I just think 2 punches unanswered is a bit too early. I don't know though.
What did you think about the Berto Josesito stoppage?
That was bullshit. That was rubbish. Like, Ricky Hatton was knocked out by Pacquiao. He was sleeping and the referee was counting.
Pacquiao as well.
Exactly. They were counting, so why are you not going to give Josesito Lopez a count at least? Like, I don't understand. I think that was terrible.
I agree.
Did you have how'd you have that fight scored up until that?
Lopez was winning easy.
Oh, you don't know shit about boxing.
Lopez was winning easy, but as I was watching the fight, I knew Berto was going to stop him because Berto wasn't even landing much, and you could see like his face was softening up, he was getting bruised up. Plus, you could tell Lopez came out first round in like 4th gear already. So I knew he was going to slow down. Plus, it was a 12-round fight. I knew he was going to slow down probably around the 7th to 8th, and he would eventually got stopped late. That's what I thought was going to happen. But
cool. Hamada, anything else you want to talk about boxing before I ask you 2 questions, one related to the Predictions League and one related to Eddie Hearn and the purse bids?
Yeah, you know what? Alan Hurst said that he had Glasgow winning. I was watching the fight, and it was quite late, and I honestly thought he did enough. I was watching it and thinking, like, when they were especially they took quite long to make the decision. So then I was thinking, yeah, he could have nicked this here, but I was thinking he nicked it. But 8-4 is disgraceful, man. Like, they're not even covering up the fact they're giving this guy some dodgy decisions. Like, at least if they made it a split decision, like, then afterwards they would have obviously, it would have looked like, yeah, close fight. Judges it could have went either way. But it's like that Paul Smith Arthur Abraham first fight. Like, the judges had it so wide that it's not fair. Like, it looks bad, but I don't know. That's what I think, anyways.
Yeah, I had it for Cunningham, but Cunningham can't catch a break, man. He's got family issues. He's just a guy that's a weight where he needs an extra weight class to kind of be in the middle of, like we were talking about earlier. The cruiserweight class is just kind of no man's land when it comes to the actual weight. So I feel bad for Cunningham sometimes, man.
It's crazy. You see Cunningham, he's in fucking monster shape. Like, he looks like he'd be in like bodybuilding, and like Pascal in monster shape, and then you see guys like Areola. It's just fucking weird boxing.
If Areola actually tried, I think you and Lukey were talking about it, Kev, he'd probably be like a super middleweight.
That's what I'm saying. He'd definitely be like a light heavyweight at the biggest, if he just fucking cut the 80 pounds of fat.
Definitely. But
you know what I think, though? You know Kovalev? I was watching him, and I don't know, man. I think he's nothing like Golovkin. Golovkin's just a different animal. I think Golovkin is... You'd never see Golovkin off balance. The amount of time you saw Kovalev off balance. Kovalev was getting hit flush. Like, Pascal was catching him flush. Like, he doesn't roll with punches the same way Golovkin does. I think Golovkin is on another level. I think Kovalev's good, but I don't think he's on that level with Golovkin. People say, like, he's like Golovkin. He's not like Golovkin. Golovkin is much
That's
better.
code word for they're both white.
I'm from Europe.
Yeah.
Or Eastern Europe. But Hamada...
I think Triple G actually beats Kovalev. He's been coming up 15 pounds. That's just me, but I'm a Triple G stan, even though I want him to move up.
Hamada, I agree with you about Kova. Kova's very raw, where Golovkin's very technical, and they're very different fighters.
Yeah, very, very different. I think Golovkin's a different animal. But there's no one for Golovkin. The only fight out there that will enhance him is like Andre Ward. But you look now, he's fighting Willie Monroe. Like, that's bullshit, in my opinion. I'd rather Golovkin doesn't fight than fight this guy. Like, just wait until about June, July, wait for some options to open up. I think this is bullshit. I think Monroe is being fed to the lions. He's gonna get hurt real bad. I think his team think at the end of the day he's gonna get a big payday, the opportunity, but I think he's gonna get eaten up quite badly.
That's actually a good topic I wanted to discuss with the guys. Ari, this Triple G Monroe fight.
Yeah, I agree when I heard that.
You mean you guys aren't hyped up for that? I mean...
No.
You guys aren't looking forward to that? I mean, what's up?
Nah, man.
All that shit you guys are giving me.
Is it going to be a Friday Night Fights?
I just really hope Degale beats Darrell, and I want to see Triple G Degale. That's my...
Trying to see my boy get killed.
Nah, man, I think that's a good fight. I just think if Darrell wins, that it's going to be held hostage. But I think Degale would actually make the fight, and I think it would be a big fight, and that would give Triple G a reason to move up.
Like, I was one of those people that defend Golovkin, like, when he was fighting Gil, Rubio, all these guys. I can't defend him now. Like, what am I going to say? How's Tom Loeffler going to sell this? Like, he sold the other fights as Gil, two-time world champion.
Just selling it as a warm-up, I guess, or
he has
or
to have
just
a
to stay busy.
He has to have a serious undercard. He has to get a good undercard together. Like, he has to get like last time they had Walters and Donaire, which kind of made up for the Rubio fight. They need like a big fight on the undercard, I think.
I'm mixed about this fight as usual on the fence. The reason why is I'm a fan of Willie Monroe. I watched him on the Boxino. I watched his last fight against Vera. I don't think he's going to beat Triple G, but I think it's a different style that Triple G hasn't seen, and I think it'll be a decent fight. So, but having said that, Triple G, you want him to fight someone really on his level now. He's getting older. He's fighting guys nowhere near in the same talent class. So it's difficult though, because if guys ducking, what's he supposed to do? I'd rather see him fight than him being on the bench. So it's a catch-22, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, that's what it basically is.
But Ari, quickly talk about your boy Degale. Eddie Hearn couldn't secure the home advantage with his purse bid. What was your thoughts on the whole situation?
You know, it's just Hearn talks too much. That's his problem. Hearn's having a bad year. You know, I've said it. I think I said it a couple of weeks before, but you know, nothing's going his way so far this year after a good 2014. But you know, he was saying that he was close for weeks on IFL. He was saying, you know, I'm going to announce it, saying how close they were. Seems like he just got hustled by Hearn, and Hearn found out basically how much the guy was going to bid, or around that. And then I think the reason Hearn bidded so high again, maybe he thought Rock Nation were going to try to do a Quillen on him again. So, you know, he put a little bit extra in it. I ain't going to complain. Why? You know, he beat him, but like Hearn said, it's not like I got beat by like a couple thousand or something like that. The guy bidded a whole million more. There's not much really Hearn could do, but at the same time, Hearn shouldn't be talking about, April 25th for the O2 and announcing, having press conferences for a fight that he hasn't got yet. So that was where Hearn got it wrong. But, you know, he got blown out of the water.
You know what, yeah? You know what pissing me off about all of this? Like, Eddie Hearn handled this terribly. Like, he handled it really bad. Like, he had a press conference for what reason? To say that the girl's going to fight April 25th on O2. He could have just put that on the website. He could have announced it on Twitter. Why did he have to have a press conference? If Frank Warren done that, he'll be getting so much stick. Yeah. But then again, Eddie Hearn is what? The saviour of boxing. He's the saviour of British boxing. So he's going to get away with it. It's the truth. If Frank Warren done that, everyone will be all over him. Everyone. But then he goes on and says that how, Darrell is the negotiations is going well, yeah. And then, then he goes and calls for purse bids. Why would he call for purse bids? Obviously because the negotiations aren't going well. And he tried to use it as a negotiation tactic. I remember him saying to Coogan one time that, we're looking to speed up the negotiations. The fight's in about 7 weeks. The date's around 7 weeks. That came back to bite him because Heyman probably thought, you know what? He wants to call for purse bids. I got unlimited money. I'll outbid him. This guy's probably working on a budget. It's like, think about it. It's like you and your friend, because Eddie Hearn and Heyman are friends, right? So it's like you and your friend, you want to buy a car.
Hearn thinks they are friends.
Yeah, well, let's just say, like, you want to buy a car off your friend. And you're negotiating for a few days, and then obviously he's not really happy with how much you're offering. And then your friend goes and puts it on Gumtree. That's basically what Eddie Hearn did. He told the IBF, let's call for purse bids. So obviously our Heyman got pissed off and probably thought, you know what? This guy's calling for purse bids. We'll see who wins the purse bid. And he won the purse bid.
That's a great analogy. That's an excellent analogy.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. It's just stupid. Eddie Hearn, he does these little moves which is coming back to bite him. He signed Avalos. Why would you sign Avalos? Oh, because it helped us in the quick negotiations. Avalos just got knocked out. He got knocked out by Frampton. How How did it help you in the negotiations now?
You know, it's Hearn showing his Achilles heel. He struggles to make big fights. You know, he's struggling to make Brooke Khan. He's struggling to make Quick Frampton. Couldn't get Degale home advantage.
At the end of the day, it's good for Degale anyways. Think about it. He's gonna fight in America. He's gonna get paid well. He's gonna. If he wins, he'll be like Kell Brook. Like, we listen to the Boxing Voice. We hear people on the Boxing Voice talking about Kell Brook. I want to see Kell Brook. If Degale wins, people are gonna start talking about Degale over in America as well. So it's only gonna enhance his reputation.
Yeah.
But then at the end of the day, the way Eddie Hearn handled it was all wrong. It was all wrong. And it's come back to bite him. He's fucked up this year. He's given us bullshit. Frank Warren is giving us better cards than Eddie Hearn. Frank Warren had the first world title fight in Britain in 2015 with Paul Butler, a couple of weeks ago. Eddie Hearn's having a Meravia, and now I'm hearing that the O2 card's going to get scrapped. Like,
yeah, I don't understand that, because if Joshua is fighting Johnson, that's a good fight. They got Selby versus Gradovic. That's a great fight. I don't understand why they're scrapping it. Them two fights are solid enough.
Yeah, but he wants to get the Mitchell Linares fight on there. That's what I think, in place of the Degale fight. And the funny thing, if Degale was made, I was probably going to go to that show. I was looking to go there as well. So.
Yeah, we would have went as well.
Exactly, man. So it's just frustrating, man. Like how he's handled it. And Cam, your boy Khan, man, he's ducking, man. What's wrong with him?
Ducking Brooke.
Yeah, like, he calls out everybody except Furman and Brooke. I want to know why he doesn't call those two people out. And he calls out everyone else. Cotto at middleweight.
You know why? Because he respects his draw.
Yeah.
He respects his draw, man.
That's what I'm saying, man. And it don't look good on Khan, man. Because at the end of the day, Kell Brook's a big fight. It's a big fight over here. It's big money. They'll probably sell out 60,000. And he could be making 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 million pounds.
No, but
I don't know why.
Hamada, listen, I agree to you to an extent, but when will that fight realistically happen?
It could have happened.
Start of June.
Yeah, start of June.
Wait, Cam, when's Ramadan this year?
Starting middle of June. Ramadan is going to be probably like around the 14th, 15th, 16th
well,
of June.
you can have it in the first week of June. Brooks got enough time.
Okay, let's just say that Brooke looks terrible against Jojo Dunn. Do you think Eddie Hearn's going to put him in with Khan?
Well, no. Unless he wants to cash him out because his leg's done.
Yeah, exactly.
That turnaround's too short. That turnaround's too short.
That turnaround's not short.
It is short, man. For a guy that's coming off a big injury, that turnaround is short.
Over 2 months.
Yeah, with the guy that's coming off a big injury as well, and this is his first fight back. You don't know if he's you don't know if he's going to get re-injured. You don't know if he's going to look like shit.
We'll see.
Let's just see who Khan fights now. Khan said he's going to fight for Ramadan. We'll see who he fights now, because from what I've been seeing on Twitter and that, I'm quite worried that we might get Khan versus Victor Ortiz or something.
Yeah,
and I ain't looking forward to that.
I'm worried about that, but there was this kind of back and forth with Broner last week. Is that a fight that you guys would mind seeing?
That's not going to happen.
Khan's not going to go back up.
Khan's not going to go to Cincinnati on June 20th. During Ramadan, he's not going to go there, so let's forget it. Broner already said he's fighting Cincinnati June 20th, so that's not going to happen.
Khan's just talking for the buzz, just to get his name up again.
But just going back to the whole Brooke thing, so we would have to wait for the Brooke fight to happen, then they would have to start negotiating. So the turnaround would be less than 8 weeks.
Why are you acting like the Brooke fight isn't in 2 weeks?
That's what I'm saying, but like, if the fight happens and Brooke looks good, they would have to start negotiating. They'd have to get like whatever stadium fight they're looking at, and then the count would be for Brooke would be like 6 weeks. I don't think
No, Cam, they could have negotiated already and then announced the fight on the night when Brooke beats Jojo Dunn.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Eddie doesn't want to take the risk, because if Brooke looks like shit or re-injures his leg in the fight, then why would he renegotiate a fight?
Get punched in his leg.
What do you mean? Why is he going to get a punch in the legs? You telling me your legs are not a big stable part of when you're moving around the ring?
Yeah, but he didn't hurt his knee or his ankles or anything. Like the slash was like on his fight.
Yeah, no, but what about all the damage in muscle tissue, man? Come on, Hamada, man. You sounding a bit amateuristic here.
In training then.
Yeah, but how do we know how good he's looking in training? Have you seen any of his training videos?
Like, Hey, Dan, mute yourself, please. Dan.
He says that he's looking good in training. He came on ringside last week talking about he's doing well on his
So
targets.
is he going to
and
come
all
on
that.
ringside and say he's looking shit in training?
Obviously he's not, but I just think, Cam, I think the leg injury is not going to be that much of an issue. I think people are blowing out of proportion.
Yeah, don't worry about Cam. Cam's salty. He knows Khan's chin gets dismantled and Khan's done.
Nah, man. I read salty that he knows that
I ain't
Brook gets
so yo-
outboxed.
Yeah, how's he getting outboxed?
Khan's just
He
gonna
knows
outbox him.
that chocolate brownie.
Whatever.
He knows.
Nah,
He gets
man.
outboxed. Come on, man. Don't make me. You know what?
Brooks
I'll let
not
you off.
Brooks not Devin Alexander or Luis Collazo. He's just gonna follow. Brook is a big guy. And he's gonna come, and Brooks not slow. Brooks gonna he'll get to Khan eventually. I think in the fight.
But you're talking like Khan's small now. Like Khan's kind of blown up into a decent size welterweight. He's not like it's not like going to be a massive size gulf between the two.
We haven't seen him versus a real welterweight yet.
Yeah, but we've only seen Brook against one good welterweight in his whole career. So
a very big one.
At least we've seen Khan against decent opposition at different weights.
That doesn't help for a welterweight though.
No, it's experience though.
Anyway, call up your boy and tell him to take the fight, because at the moment it looks like he'd rather fight a 140 Broner or even go up to 154 and fight a Cotto. So he's got no excuses, so make the fight. That's all I say.
Yeah, the Broner fight ain't happening. Stop bringing that
Yeah,
up.
I know, but I'm just saying, he talks, as soon as Broner says his name, he talks big, but when Brooks says he yaks deaf.
With regarding what Hamada
That's
said
what
though,
I'll say.
I am concerned that he's going to fight someone shit, because there's really no one out there now.
Yeah, who's he gonna fight? Who is he gonna
That's
fight?
the only concern. And when Khan fights low opposition, he doesn't turn up as much. Like when you look at the Diaz fight, when you look at the Molina fight, it's not the same Khan. It's like his heart's not really in it. It's better to fight like top level opposition. I think he trains harder, he works harder.
What about maybe Diego Chavez?
Chavez, does he deserve another shot, man? Like,
well, you know, he had a draw with Bradley. Looked quite good.
What about Bradley though? Is there any word on Bradley's next fight?
Nah, we ain't had anything. But you know what I want to know? It's like, what's going on with Khan? Is he still Golden Boy, or is he all out Heyman? Is he going to be on the NBC fighting on NBC Spike and all that, or is he going to be on HBO with Golden Boy? I don't know what's going on with him.
Yeah, he's with Heyman, but apparently he's still got an exclusive contract with Showtime. So I think he is. I don't know if he's got 1 or 2 fights left, but at the same time, he said that he doesn't have any more fights with them, but Showtime said he does. So I don't know what's going on. But we'll see if his fight ever gets announced and, you know, what channel he's on. But at the moment, I think he has to fight on Showtime.
Yeah, I can't remember. I seen him on BT Sport, I think, and he was saying when his contract ended with Golden Boy, it also ended with Showtime. I think it was like a dual contract, so I'm not 100% sure. Maybe he was trying to get out of it and he's still tied in. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, and Golden Boy said they still had a contract with him as well, and he said
it's quite
he
confusing.
doesn't. So.
But if he can get on HBO, I'd love to see the Bradley fight. Obviously,
obviously, if he's with Heyman and that, obviously he can't fight those kind of people.
That's the problem. But if he can,
that's the problem. Yeah.
It's difficult. Like you said, there's no one for him to really fight, and I could even see him not fighting, but I don't think that would be good for him, because obviously it's a long layoff. He'll probably fight in November, December. That's a year, you know. I know at the stage he's at, I don't think inactivity is good. But that's my Khan rant for the week. Defense, my Khan defense.
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
How is Isaac Chilemba 26 years old?
He's like 46, I think.
27.
I'm African. Yeah, listen. And I know one when I see one. That's all I'm saying. He's not 26 at all.
From Malawi.
Black don't crack.
Yeah, Malawi's in Africa.
Yeah, I know. But no, I'm not going to shit on the guy. But
when he fought Bellew, he was 24.
Well, you hear about these guys, you know, the dodgy passports, you know, some of these footballers like Obafemi Martins. You know, he says he's like 29, but apparently he's like 34, so.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Ruth says he's 35, but I think he's about 49, to be honest. But Hamada...
Your boy Rooney's hiding glass, man.
But Hamada, you got anything else for us? We're going to wrap up the show.
Nah. I'm all good, man. I got my piece, man. Got my run in, so I'm good, man.
All right, nice one, brother. Yeah.
One more thing. I'm coming for the prediction league. Like right now, I'm in the top 4. Like I'm happy with that. Like Champions League football, but don't worry, I'm gonna slowly get. I'm slowly gonna get to the top. I had a good week, and I'm looking to make more strides. I'm looking to make more strides.
You had a very good week.
Yeah, I want to give you. I want to give you
Pascal,
props.
man. I need Pascal to stay in there for one more round, and I'd be top 10. But
I had Kovalev round 7. So
yeah,
we missed it by a round. But I had that South African fight split decision, and that got me bare points. And I had Francisco Vargas around 8 as well, so it got me. Yeah, got me some points.
You killed it this week.
Yeah, man, I had a good week, man. It was due. I was overdue, man. Because I always get them right. Who's gonna win?
Just the
but
method
I don't
of
get the
victory
60.
wrong. Yeah, same.
Like, I can only get 10 points too, man. I can't never get 6. That Liebenberg fucking Oosthuizen fight I lost. That was a weird score. Fucking 117, 111 on 2 judges, and 115, 113 the other way on the score.
Sounds like it should have been a UD, man. So
it was a ugly
they
fucking
fought
fight,
me over
man.
on that one.
You know me, I watch all the light heavyweight shit, and actually Liebenberg's last fight was against Eldier Alvarez, who I really like in the light heavyweight division. So I wanted to watch this so I could see how I judge Alvarez, you know, and as like a benchmark. But it was an ugly fight, sloppy.
Who did you have
winning?
Yeah.
Oh, I predicted Liebenberg, but Oosthuizen won.
Yeah, man, they fucked me over, man. I had Oosthuizen, unanimous.
My problem is every time I go to bet a fucking fight on this prediction league, I always think there's going to be bullshit judging, and I put split decision, and it always ends up being UD. If I would have just put UD for everything, I'd have been money.
That's what the trick is.
On Twitter, I follow a few of them kind of journalists in South Africa, and Rodney Bell. Apparently, Oosthuizen won by clear decision, but then one, you know how there's that one judge sometimes that just fucks up and sees some next shit.
That's Kevin, man, who saw the fucking Josesito and Berto fight.
Yeah, that one judge that sees that next shit, man. But
KH, aka CJ Ross.
I went SD because I thought, you know what, they're level. It was quite a competitive fight down there. Apparently it was a 50-50, so I just thought might go split, but I got lucky with that one, but we'll see, man.
Yeah, man, definitely props to you, Hamada. Thank you for phoning.
Man, peace, man.
Peace, brother. Alright, let's get to some final thoughts. Now let me get to the chat room roll call first. Okay. Casual Fan, London Box, Harvey 29, Basilius, Arigo Bus, Jas, KH, The 17, Nesmatic, Adil for Real, Nothing for Something, Hamada UK, BRD, Hey, Chinaman, Jesus, The Crusher, Jack Captain, Raphael 22, Black Ski Mash, Joe, Supermerc, Low Country, Die Hard, Casual Fan, Z334, MV Chew, he must have made it home, Nauta, and 23 guests. Dan, are you on the line? If so, unmute and give some final thoughts. Daniel. Okay, I'll go to Kevin. Kev, you got any final thoughts?
No, another good show. I mean, I was phenomenal as always.
Obviously.
I think it really went well. Just a good week of fights. We didn't really talk much about the PBC presentation, but I think they made some improvements, so I'm interested to see when they get another high-level card on NBC if it's even better. But I think they took a step in the right direction with the presentation, and I really enjoyed the Kovalev Pascal fight. I'll watch it again and see if I still think it's a fight of the year. I mean, I think it'll be a pretty weak year if it is fight of the year, but I still think it was better than Matisse Molina, so I think it was a good fight, and hopefully we have a lot more coming up. We have a decent end of March and April, so.
If Matisse versus Provodnikov is not fight of the year, then just fuck boxing.
Yeah, right. But yeah, I don't think that could miss. I don't think.
You must be. Come on, Kev. Tell him you're not going to that fight.
It's tough, man. That's not like I hate being in cars, man. It's a 5-hour trip.
Really? So, is that far? It's in New York, isn't it?
New York's huge. Like the city, everything's within like 20 minutes, 45 minutes, or a 50-minute train ride. Upstate, everything's far. Like Albany's, the capital's like 2.5 hours. And I live all the way on the South Shore. I live on the beach, so I'm like the most south part of Long Island. And I got to come all the way up through Queens and up to upstate. It takes a long time. I mean, if I'm doing if I could convince my girl, though, I might go and trick her into acting like we're having a night out at a good restaurant and staying overnight in a hotel and be at a boxing fight. But
yeah, you
I
gotta
don't know.
go, man.
It's different. Like Atlantic City, you could always find shit to do. You know what I mean? Even though people shit on Atlantic City, but you know, there's a couple nice restaurants and good hotels and gambling. And Verona, it's like just a smaller casino. It's tough, you know.
Yeah, I guess.
Kev, you casual fan. If that was me, I'd take that fucking 5-hour drive to see that shit.
Yeah, but you don't have a back like mine.
That's true. That's true.
I can't sit in the car for 5 hours with my back, you know, so.
Fair enough. I'll let you off. But, Harry, you got any final thoughts?
I broke my back.
Back.
Spinal.
Yeah, I seen Lebedev.
My back is broken. What do you mean, vertebrae? No, spinal.
What's that from?
The Tyson interview
in the
after
interview.
I think Clifford Etienne.
Yeah.
I was doing my 2,500 sit-ups with my 25-pound plate. Doctor said you're not going to believe it, but your back is broken slightly.
All right, Harry, what were you going to say?
I think I seen on boxing scene that Lebedev versus Kalenga's signed. I don't know if guys don't care about cruiserweights, but that's a good fight, man. I like Kalenga. He's knocked out a couple of guys recently. I think he might win that fight, man.
Who, Kalenga?
Yeah, Kalenga, yeah. April 10th in Moscow. Because, Lebedev, he gets beat up in fights. He's got no defense. But, yeah, that's a good fight. That's all I got, man.
No problem, Harry.
It's good. Also, yeah, it's good to see Brooks on Showtime, Hearn's done good there where, Brooks going to get shiny. He's got, he's going to have a good channel in America to get big off.
Basilius, my boy Milos in the chat saying Povetkin versus Mike Perez May 22nd. I think that's easy work for Povetkin. Fucking Mike Perez has been looking terrible.
Yeah. I guess Povetkin will be Wilder's next mandatory. No, that'll be a good fight. That'll definitely show us what level Wilder's at.
Yeah, because I like Povetkin, man. Even though a lot of people shit on him for ducking Klitschko and then fighting him later, a year later or whatever, I do think he's a really decent heavyweight. So, but that's about it. People in the chat, still be 6 p.m. Eastern next week, 3 p.m. Pacific, and then I think we'll be back to normal the following week. Thank you all for listening. All the people that download the podcast, thank you. Back next week. Peace.
You just listened to the Boxing Coalition.
Dude, man, I love boxing. I fucking love boxing.
A big shout out to the Boxing Coalition. You're a newbie.
No, I ain't new, man.
If my fucking next door neighbour became the #1 flyweight in the world, you know what I'd do? I'd fucking walk past the cunt.
Derek, how you doing, bro?
I was physically burn you, blood.
I disagree.
First time I hear the song, man, it was fucking badass.
Vamos Argentina, la concha de su madre.
I see the bomb in them.
I get home and it's like, what the fuck? Me and the kid are here. Why don't you get home and talk to us? I'm like, man, you guys don't know shit about boxing.
Kel, how does it feel to be the new IBF champion?
Feels great. Great.
Did we really dive into the black hole right off the jump?
I think he's hiding glass.
Just to play devil's advocate.
You want 1 portion of crow or 2 portions of crow?
Give me 2 portions with a supersized fries and a large drink, please.
I can't stand him, what? I'm Scottish.
Cringe side.
But you won't brush Anthony fucking fat ass Joshua, would you? He's not fat.
How about you tell us what you weighed for your final thoughts?
My weight?
Thank you for listening to the Boxing Coalition. We are live every Monday, 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. UK time, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern.